What's up, guys? This is the Cryptic Heartland podcast, episode number 108.
108.
Steadily climbing, but not fast enough. No, I'm kidding. It's fine.
Like that.
No, you're not seeing things on camera. That is the man. Dan the Man has returned finally after his hiatus. So
and dressed very bright and red.
Red.
it's like every week we get somebody new in here, which I like. Keep coming, guys.
I know.
We want you here.
Gotta be new.
So.
Whoa, that's too loud.
Yeah, adjust your mic or your volume, whatever.
What's up, everybody? Hi, Carl. Keeping it real. Yes, you're right.
Everybody's doing well, I think, so far. I mean, everybody's here in the flesh. Roth's obviously working. Jake just got done mowing. He was beat, tired, so he didn't want to have to drive back.
It's too damn hot.
It is, so. But he'll be back, too, so we'll get everybody back in the saddle again.
Back in the saddle.
Definitely coming up at the end of the month, July 31st. Oh, no, I'm sorry, August 1st, which is a Saturday. We'll do the live 100th celebration, as Jason likes to call it, not episode.
Well, it's not the episode. We already bypassed it, you know.
Yeah.
So
We'll do
celebration.
We'll do the 200th episode.
Yeah.
Now the 100th celebration from when we've been trying to put on for months now because of Corona and all that stuff. We had to push it back, but going to a location. We're going to do some ghost hunting. We're going to do some interviews. We're going to do some experiments. A lot of it's going to be solo missions inside the buildings. We're going to be something different we've never tried before. Because usually we like to do in pairs just for safety factors because you never know. Hell, the time I fell through the ceiling, if I'd been by myself, you guys heard the noise.
Yeah, I did.
But
I didn't hear it.
had you not heard it, I could have been dead somewhere, in an office
Probably.
or something. Yeah, but whatever.
Yeah.
So it's all good. That's why we do two pairs, and stuff. That way, it's just for safety factors.
And since it's going to be a podcast,
Right.
we're not going to have you just sitting behind the camera.
I'll be manning the podcast the whole night.
No. I'll take over and sit there while you go off. Huh?
You don't know how to do it.
That's why you got to teach me.
Nope, not gonna.
What, you don't want to do any experiments?
No, I will.
Tie him up in the chair up there upstairs.
No, yeah.
With the bat?
I got some ideas. So
Okay.
how it's gonna work.
No,
So, we're gonna have
very
some
cool.
fun. Yep, and we'll have some of the teammates that never been on the podcast will be on too that day.
Thank
hopefully.
God,
So,
finally.
yeah, so they can show their face on camera and
They didn't live 3 hours away.
all I hear is excuses. No, I'm kidding. But first thing first, just make sure like the usual song and dance we do here.
Like, share,
There you go.
post.
Yep. Like,
Tell everybody come on.
like, subscribe, grab a stranger, grab a friend, but make sure you have a mask on, of course, when you're grabbing people. And just kidding. Tell them about the podcast. Let them know, hey, what we're doing, what we're trying to do here. That way they can watch every Sunday night like you guys watch. And also, make sure you subscribe on Facebook, get notified. That way when we go live, you go live with us. If you're watching from YouTube land, make sure you hit that little bell. That way notifications are turned on. Yep. So, and away we go. So, but I did want to bring up something first, and I don't like to bitch and moan, but I will, time to time. So, we're close. Jason does.
I love to pitch.
Now, we're close friends with a lot of teams, paranormal, across the land, the U.S., and across the water to the big pond, as they like to call it. So, but here locally, I saw recently that kind of irritated the shit out of me. And I saw a team went into a place that we're going to go into eventually. We just haven't got, with Corona, it kind of threw a monkey wrench and everything. But the place was the McIntyre Villa out in Atchison, Kansas, where we're going to get into. We're good friends with the owners. And a paranormal team that had been there multiple times came back. I think they came. This is about their second or third time they've been there, but they came back recently and did an investigation. Well, the place is wired for cameras everywhere from the owners for security reasons.
Gotcha.
Because they never know when they're not there what's going on inside the building.
Well, that's smart. I like that idea.
And they've captured some great evidence, their own evidence of doors opening and closing, children laughing, just some weird noises and knocks and stuff, typical spooky ghost stuff. But anyways, so this is on camera too. Well, this team had came in and was investigating there and went in the basement and dug up a brick off the building, tore a brick out of the building, and they thought they were well aware of the cameras being there, and because it was a husband and wife team, and they went in there and they told the wife, because she's a little bigger, she's like, "Hey, block the camera, it's right there." And they don't realize, well, maybe they didn't realize, this is all their cameras are audible also to have audio, so they can hear everything going on. The owners could, and basically, captured them vandalizing the building by taking a brick. And who knows what that does? I know it's one brick, but who knows what it does to the structure itself?
Exactly.
But I guess when they said this, they're like, make sure you get, let's get this brick, whatever, or however it was said, like we always do at every place. So they're doing this place to place, not just there.
So they're vandalizing and taking pieces of the property.
Historical properties that for people like us, we try to get into these locations, and I tell all the people, our clients, I'm just honored to be in your place because you're letting us total strangers, you don't know us, you're letting us total strangers come in, and some places have turned over the keys to us. Here's the keys, just lock up when you leave, kind of a thing. And I'm like, that's incredible. I mean, the fact that you trust us, and people watching us know us. They know that we're not going to go in and do anything to the building. They're not going to. We're going to leave it better than we found it, basically. So, regardless, this is what was going on, and oh man, it sent a wave, a ripple through the paranormal community.
Do we have a name of the team?
I do. I don't know if I even want to honor them by saying their name.
I want to bash it.
Well, and it's all hearsay. I haven't seen the video yet. I trust.
If it's on video,
I trust the owners. They haven't released the video, but the owners have known about this a couple weeks. They wanted this team to come back and make do the honorable thing, return the property, and admit to, hey, we did it. Sorry. That's why they haven't released any footage of it yet, but I'm sure they're going to now. And obviously they're blacklisted, and it's sent, like I said, the tidal wave ripple, where they're not letting anybody. They won't. They're getting this name out there, to let people know they're doing this all over. And they're not even from Kansas. They're from Illinois.
Wow, that's not good at all.
So I mean, it's going to follow them all over. And they've been to some big places like Waverly and a couple of things. We haven't.
Well, I know, but everybody else has.
No, but I'm saying they've been there. So what did they take from Waverly? What kind of damage have they done there? I mean,
probably.
All these jackasses that keep going over to all these locations and doing the same thing, breaking in,
right?
Not having permission to be inside, taking property and everything. This is the reason why, for one, it's hard to get into locations.
Sure.
Two, people don't take it serious.
Yeah.
And it just makes a bad name for every single one of us when we've worked so freaking hard to do.
Yeah. So when I saw that, I wasn't happy about it, and nobody that's close to the source is happy about it, as they shouldn't be.
Right.
Because it's not the first time this place has been vandalized like that. They had a public investigation there, and they had that on camera too, where this girl
stole the picture.
The picture, yeah, you've seen that, okay? Yeah. Where and it was a personal photo of the owners, and it just looked cool. It was like an older looking photo, so it had sentimental value other than just monetary value.
And they freaking took it.
But they caught her on camera, and they put that out quick. Somebody said, "Oh, that's so and so," and then that sent the tidal waves out, and sure as shit, she brought it back.
She returned it.
Yeah, oh yeah, within days. So yeah, this one is probably, who knows what this team. This is
that's stealing.
Oh yeah.
You could get arrested for this shit,
Especially some of those places in Atchison are marked for, historical landmarks. So you're stealing from, federal property. That's going to send your ass to prison, possibly, or, a big hefty fine. It's terrible. So, yeah, like I said, people at home, we don't do anything. We would never, ever do anything. Anytime we go into a location, we have the owner's permissions. Most of the time, we need to start doing better about this. We have their waivers. We have them sign waivers. That way they know we won't sue them if we get hurt, like the case I did fell through the ceiling, I won't sue them for, hey, your building's faulty, even if it was my own doing. I won't sue them or anything like that. Just like we have the legal aspect things buttoned down pretty well. And Carl was on here, and I know Carl, when we first started going to the depot, he was skeptical of us. He said, I don't know these people.
Oh, yeah, he's told us that a lot of times.
And I appreciated that. I'm like, dude, be here. I want you to be here, because I want you to experience the stuff, because you're here all the time. They know you. They being the ghosts. They know you. I want you to be here and experience that. That way, we can show you, hey, this is what you're hearing, what you're seeing is not, it's there, possibly, and we want to capture the evidence with you and experience it and whatever else. And we built that tight-knit relationship with Carl and Cindy and the depot folks down there over the years because of the fact that, we're trustworthy people. We're what you see here is what you're going to get. We're not going to pull the punches. We're not going to go behind your back. We're not going to do anything stupid. We're not going to break in. We're not going to vandalize anything. I mean, if we were to damage any property accidentally, we're going to make amends. That's our ass. We're covering it. As a business. So, but this is disgusting. It pissed me off very much so. So, anywho's, that's all I want to say about that. And if you're trying to get into this business and everything thinks it's so easy to get into this business, it's not. You have to build those relationships, those contacts up, and we've worked years behind the scene to get that way. Don't do shit you're not supposed to. Don't damage stuff. Don't fake evidence. It's your reputation out there.
Don't break into shit that you're not supposed to be going into and not having permission to go into places, but yet filming it on YouTube or Facebook Live, whatever.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. So anywho,
I'm still mad about that.
I know. So
bye, Melanie.
Well, that's okay. I've already blocked him from my Facebook. So
yeah, like Carl.
I just can't do it.
Like Carl commented, and people wonder why I keep such a close eye on the depot. Yeah, exactly. Because I know people that want to get in that place bad. Not just from us, but of our stories. Because it's a cool ass building. You see it driving down in Dodge, and there's Santa Fe depots across the campus.
Everywhere.
Atchison has them, along the way. And those buildings. I haven't been in any other building of those yet. I haven't been in any other Carnegie building yet, but I went to the Dodge one, Carnegie Center for the Arts in Dodge. I've been to the Santa Fe Depot in Dodge. And those two buildings alone are immaculate. They're spectacular to be in. They're getting remodeled. They've been remodeled over the years, and time and effort, money, care has been put into these places. And the last thing I want to do is damage a place like that.
Right.
I want to be respectful for sure. So, but okay. Anyways, that's all we'll have to say about that. Forest. So, and it's fourth floor paranormal out of Illinois, by the way. So,
okay.
I'm pretty sure they're going to be blacklisted from quite a few places, and they don't realize how big this network that we're in stretches.
It's huge.
It goes from all the way to what's that?
I don't know what that was.
That was weird. Did you scratch something or move something?
I was just doing this.
No, I heard something weird.
Yeah, I heard that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anyways, we have them all the way out to California, all the way across, Midwest especially is real
Sydney,
thick.
Australia.
Yeah.
Rose.
Yeah, true. So, anywho's, all right. Well, as you can see, Dan the Man's back. Welcome back. He's been on his own little ghost adventure, shall I say. He's been on a vacation of
Been
sorts.
on a little vacay.
And he's been working his ass off behind the scenes. That's why when we do the Tuesday nights, it's hard for him to get up here because he has to be up early the next morning, earlier than we have to be.
Yeah.
So.
Same with Jake. Jake can't ever make it here on Tuesdays, so.
But when we do the
sucks
Sundays,
when we miss it on Sundays.
We'll try to stay Sundays as much as we can because, like I said, we picked this day for a reason because.
Yeah.
Sunday's a relaxing evening kind of a thing. Before the start of the work week, you had a busy work week, a weekend, whatever, and what else is going on Sunday? Maybe just sit down and watch some, YouTube podcasts. So that's why, or Facebook podcasts such as this one. That's why we deliberately chose this one.
Eat some chicken.
These times, you got
Eat
chicken?
your dinner?
You got
No,
some
not
chicken?
yet. No, I wish.
So, anywho, so what do you want to dive into first? We got all kinds of stuff we can talk about and whatnot, and.
I'm kind of. Do you have anything specific? Or did you want to dive into?
We can do whatever we want. That's what we do on this show.
Well, how about we do whatever you want?
Let's do what you want. What do you want to do?
I want to go to sleep. No,
What do you
I
want to
don't.
do?
I don't know. No, I don't have anything. I didn't have anything planned per se tonight. Anything specific other than I knew Dan was coming back, so I was like, that's cool. We'll get into his stories and where his adventures are taking him and whatnot. And
I went to Colorado.
Yeah.
You want to dive into his?
Might as well. Let's
All
go.
right.
We'll open this.
Okay.
The floodgates, and maybe we have some other stuff behind the scenes we'll do later on. Or not behind the scenes, but other conversations. Okay, did you do it again? I heard it again. Somebody move. I heard that in my headset again. Okay. I don't know if viewers can hear it at home. Hopefully it's translating. If not, it might just be in the headsets, but we're hearing some kind of, I don't even know what it is, noise, interference. Not an interference. It's like a voice, scratchy kind of sound. So, okay. Anyways.
We'll listen for it.
Typical. So,
well, shoot. I mean,
you're in Colorado?
Yeah, we went to Colorado, and well, let me get some of that down. Too high on me. No, we went to Colorado. I really, I mean, I've been jonesing for years to go see the Stanley, and so we decided we wanted to get away. We wanted to try to vacay with a little bit of non-corona BS.
Sure.
And so we basically decided to stay by ourselves and just
go
to places, see things. Stay away from actual people.
Yeah, and for the viewers at home, Stanley is Dan's boyfriend that he sees.
Stanley, he's hot.
Oh, I'm sorry. No, I'm sorry. That's the Stanley Hotel.
The Stanley Hotel.
My bad.
In Estes Park, Colorado.
Yeah.
Yes, of course.
Yep. So we'll talk about that here in a minute. We'll go ahead.
Yeah. So we headed out that way, and then we decided, well, on the way through, we ended up going to Nest City because I.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, I showed Dana.
Oh, cool! I didn't know that.
The skyscraper and the planes.
Skyscraper, the planes. Yeah, good old Nest
she
County
hasn't been
Bank.
there.
No, she's never been there.
Yeah.
She's intrigued. We actually drove through prom night, and everybody was out front taking pictures.
Did they have it in the building?
They actually did have it on the fourth floor. Yeah,
that'd be cool.
That's cool.
That's cool.
I've heard that before in that big ballroom.
Did you get pictures?
Of the building, yes.
Yeah.
We tried not to intervene with any of the kids, but they were out there on the steps taking their pictures before they went in the building. So that was pretty wonderful. That was neat to watch.
That's cool.
And so we did that, and then we just headed north about 25-30 minutes and ended up going to Castle Rock Monument.
Oh, yeah. I've never seen it, but I've heard of it.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
The roads are horrible. We had a big four-wheel drive, luckily, and
cool.
nearly got stuck and pissed off a bull. But there's going down this one dirt road into the place, and of course we're going through the dirt road, and there's a mud hole in the middle of the road, so we kind of had to go around it or hit some boulders on this side. Well, there's a bull, big bull, probably 2,000 pounds.
Oh, I bet.
Getting a drink, and he moseyed back a little bit, but once I hit the water, all that mud just splattered up on his face. So he shook his head off, and he started rearing back, and I just took off.
That's wow.
Good time, but yeah.
I love Western Kansas.
Yep. Yeah, it was crazy.
Nice.
But, from there we ended up going, and we got it up to Estes Park, and man, I really wanted to check out the Estes Park or the Stanley Hotel and do a tour of it, but of course because Corona they had to shut down.
Yeah.
But we did some pictures of it, and man, I tell you what, beautiful building.
Oh, I'm sure.
Much smaller than I anticipated.
That's one thing I did hear about is the fact that it's so small compared to what you see. I mean, the outside exterior, and I'll put it up here in just a second. The picture that Dan happened to take outside the place. The exterior says one thing, but the inside says another thing. Much.
Yeah.
I mean, especially when you see it on TV shows and stuff. So this is the picture Dan took, right? You took all these pictures?
Yes.
Okay.
It looks amazing.
The Stanley Hotel in front. Is that Stanley in front?
That is the individual that built it, not Stanley, but yeah. Beautiful building. Again, like I say, if you look at it right there, it's just... It's big.
It sits up on like a mountain, doesn't it? Too, like on a cliff, kind of.
No, not really.
Is it the one that's sitting in a valley? I can't remember.
No, it's higher than the actual city.
Okay, that's what it is.
Yeah,
I've seen pictures on the outside, like mapping out, kind of.
Yeah, you kind of drive up. It's probably 150 feet maybe above the actual downtown area, maybe 200 feet at best. But
nice.
Yeah, beautiful. But like I say, we walked up on it. You know, the Stanley's actually 4 different buildings.
Yeah, separated. Yeah.
They have the main Stanley, then they have a Stanley apartment that kind of looks like it, but they mirrored it smaller. And then they actually had the stables that they redid. The stables were actually it's a ballroom. It's where they do the weddings and stuff now, but it used to be the horse stables back in the 1910s and 20s.
Yep.
Which presumably is where all the actual crazy hauntings are located.
Right.
And beautiful building, though. Beautiful. Yeah. We did walk up on it. We didn't get to go inside. When we were there, the ticket counter was closed because, of course, you're not doing tours. Mm-hmm. They had the gift shop closed. They didn't want people inside of it.
Right.
But I did get a good picture of, because, you watch the movie,
yep.
We're talking about The Shining, of course.
Right.
And if you watch the movie, you walk into these big, giant double doors on the top of 5 or 6 steps, and you look in, and you have this grand room where Jack Nicholson is actually typing away in this giant room, exactly. And then you have this enormous staircase in the, 85 to 150 feet into the ballroom, mm-hmm. or the large foyer, or whatever you want to call it. And then, but no, it's not the case. It's maybe 12 feet, maybe 15 feet into the door, and you run right into the staircase. And it's grand. It's a beautiful staircase.
Right.
But
you not as huge and as big as what the movie does, right?
Because you walk in, you got your beautiful staircase right there. To your left, you have the front desk, which is, if any of you guys have been over to, the Depot Theater, or even in Wilson at the hotel there, they have, just a freaking counter, and that's what you got right over here on your left. Then they have the glass doors to the ballroom, where the whiskey bar. And then to the right, they have an elevator. And the infamous red elevators and nothing like that. It's an old dumbwaiters looking brass elevator from like the early 19-teens, 20s. Yeah. Beautiful building though.
It's just sad to say that a movie is a movie.
Yes.
A book is a book. Real life is
totally
in real
different.
Life, it's going to be completely different.
Yeah.
And everything.
Yeah.
It was just an inspiration for the story.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, when Stephen King actually stayed in the hotel, he had his own experiences, and that's what brought him.
Yes.
We all know those stories, but if you don't know the stories, he, him and his wife kept complaining about the children running up and down the hall and playing a ball. They were bouncing a ball up and down, and look at that.
That's the Overlook.
That's the Overlook. Yes.
That's where the Shining is actually filmed on location at the Overlook Hotel in Oregon. But like you were saying, Stephen King had his inspiration at the Stanley Hotel in Estes Park.
And that's where he got the idea.
Get confused,
yeah, and that's where he gets it. They look very similar.
Oh, so I'll compare the two here.
They're so similar. Look at that.
That's not it.
But, Stephen King hearing the children and playing a ball, bouncing a ball up and down the hallway, he had to finally complain about it, and they said, well, sir, there's no children registered in the hotel tonight at all.
Right.
So he's like, oh crap, okay, well. Then he had things, I read a story where they took his luggage up there and everything like that, and they went into their room and found all their stuff.
Yeah. Put away
for them.
I've heard that before.
And the staff said, no, we didn't do anything. But then you also got Jim Carrey, who was in town
for Dumb and Dumber?
For Dumb and Dumber, yeah. Which I love that movie, and I'm not ashamed to say I saw that like 6 times in theaters. But he was in Colorado to film Dumb and Dumber, and he wanted to stay at the Stanley. Right. I don't think he made it through one night. Right. I think he ran out the night before during his first night there, and said he basically couldn't take any more. There's too many weird things happening in there, and he was out.
No, I'll give you that. Yeah. Standing in the building and walking, the little bit that we were allowed to. The feeling in the building, the ambiance of the location is just crazy.
Right.
But lots of energy.
That's the side by side. Sorry, Jason. That's the side by side. Top of each other comparison. The top one's the actual Stanley, where Dan's picture was, and the bottom was the Overlook in Oregon. Looks similar.
So in the movie, I forget, is it called the Overlook?
I think so, actually.
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah,
that's why you have the key.
Yeah.
Yep. So a little tidbit from when we started working with the Wilson Hotel.
Right.
Kind of a great connection to all this and everything.
Yep.
I had to sit down with because each time we went to this, to Wilson to do the Midland,
Wilson.
we had to deal with a new manager
Mhm.
each and every freaking time. It was new staff all the time. Same owner,
Right.
just couldn't keep the same people.
right.
So each year we went there to do an event for them where they got all the money. We didn't get shit. I'm just bitter about it.
I know.
I know. Yeah, hey, we can be honest about it. I mean, this is our
No, we
podcast.
can't.
They're not going to watch it.
How dare
Well,
you say
maybe
that?
they might.
How dare
Maybe they
you
are.
say that?
And if they are, maybe she can feel my frustration. But anyway, one of the managers, I cannot remember his name, but he's
Richard.
not Richard,
Rick is his name.
not Rick, but
Wait,
it
which one?
was like 2 or 3 managers down
Because
the
Rick
road.
was the one that we went
Right.
for the Stanley, right?
I know.
Okay, sorry, I was confused what you were going with.
I know.
My bad.
But it wasn't really like told to us like fully, like
Yeah.
her background and everything like that. Where, so yeah, the first manager we worked with at the Wilson, his name was Rick, and he
At the
was
Wilson.
the former manager there at the Stanley Hotel.
Right.
During the time that ghost hunters started to come in and they started really getting into the ghost tours and
Right.
the big ghost hunters boom. For the TV show itself, and not to mention everybody just going to the Stanley Hotel for the hauntings and
Yep.
stuff. So he had to organize and figure out how to do all the ghost tours and everything, and manage like ghost teams that are coming out of the woodwork saying, "Hey, I want to be in there." Well, here he is in Wilson, Kansas, as the manager of the Midland Railroad Hotel. So we had to deal with him, and it was how, when we worked with him, he set it up how we were going to do our event and everything like that, and it worked great. It was beautiful. It was perfect. Oh, I shouldn't say stuff like that. I sound like the Orange Man. Yeah, but no, it worked fantastic. It was flawless. I feel like it was so much fun. But then the very next year, new manager, and the very following year, new manager. So we get to, I think, 3rd or 4th manager, and he sat us down, and I think it was myself, and I can't remember who was with me.
For what?
It might have been Roth who was actually sitting with me. Anyway,
What
we were
was-
trying
what
to
was the story?
negotiate.
Oh, okay.
It was just negotiating. Because
Gotcha.
each freaking year we had to, like,
Yeah.
sit down and renegotiate
Yeah.
how we're going to do this for them
Right.
and everything. So the guy said, "Well, okay, the owner has a lot of stock in the Stanley Hotel," and I was like, "Oh, really? Is that how she knew Rick?" "Well, yeah, and he kind of skipped over that because Rick's was let go,
Yeah.
which is just sad,
Right.
especially when you're the manager of the Stanley for so many years." And
Yeah.
yeah. So he said that she is part of the Merrill Lynch family and everything,
Right.
and they have stock in the Stanley.
Yep.
And everything, and that they could actually try to get us into the Stanley, but the fact that everybody who goes to the Stanley doesn't actually get the tour
Right.
of the most haunted locations.
They get
It's
a ghost
just-
tour, and then there's the tour they don't take you on.
Yeah, it's like a ghost tour, but
Yeah.
yet it's not really that good,
Right.
because the spot that is actually really haunted
Mm-hmm.
is hidden away, and no guests are allowed to go over there
Right.
to that area.
Right.
Which you mentioned, kind of the
The stables.
stables and stuff like
Yeah.
that, but they offered the chance that we
Sure.
could one day go over there to that and do that, but as each year passed, everything's continued to get shitty and shittier with Wilson,
Allegedly.
allegedly. My personal opinion, shitty, so
It was just hard, like you said. It kept changing hands. Not ownership hands, just
Not
the managers.
ownership.
And every time we came in there, we have to replete our case. Like, well, we had this agreement from day
Yeah.
one. That's why we're here. And they were like, well, I don't see anything with
we're
that.
driving all
Yeah.
that way
And
to
we were selling the place out
sell
continuously.
the whole hotel out for
And
you.
we were given
Yeah.
certain amenities, promised certain amenities that never really. We had to just plead our case with every time, and it was just it became more of a burden than sometimes it's worth.
I'm sorry.
unfortunately.
Just when you spent, you steal $1,200 from us, that kind of pisses me off. So anyway, back.
Bad.
But anyway,
Told you
there's
I'd
so
pay you
much.
back.
There's so much connection from what we've already done to
Right.
the Stanley Hotel, which is someplace that I've never been, always wanted to.
Yeah.
I'm going back. I couldn't see the room that they wanted to put me in that they claimed was haunted. I don't. The only persons that have stated this area to be haunted is Zach Baggins, and I'm not going to sit there and follow his lead. There's so many people that's been through there that say differ, and
Right.
What did he say about it?
Fourth floor. The fourth floor is the haunted floor. That's the only place where he had, and watching the Ghost Adventures part where they did it, and that's where they
Right.
had their instances. But I mean, the second floor has always been known.
I've heard
There's
second floor, third floor.
two
second
rooms
floor.
on the third
Yeah.
floor, and then of course the stables.
And
And
third floor is the little girl, right?
yes,
Okay. Yeah.
and the second floor is the two rooms. Of course,
Mhm.
Stephen King room and Jim Carrey stayed in the same room.
Right.
And then the 37 room, where
Mhm.
is where the double room, where the female that in the
Right.
you've seen The Shining,
Yeah.
the female that's coming out of the bathroom in the double. So yeah, now the hallway. I mean, the hallway that runs the second floor is just
Yeah.
eerie.
Have you seen the sequel,
No.
Doctor Sleep?
Oh yes,
Oh,
yes, yes.
no, I haven't seen that.
You
I
haven't
was like, they have a
seen that?
sequel? But yeah, I forgot
Yeah.
what they did this past year.
Yeah, Ewan McGregor.
I haven't seen it. I heard it's because it has pieces of it, flashbacks, doesn't it, or whatever.
It's
ties
creepy.
in.
It's actually really good.
I'll
I
have to
got
watch it.
yeah.
I'll
I mean,
watch it,
it's
yeah.
a very outlandish movie,
Sure,
but
sure.
it talks more about the power of The Shining.
Well,
Oh.
it's Danny as an adult.
That's right.
Yeah,
That's right.
yeah,
I
it's
do
his
remember
son.
that story. Yeah, I'll watch
But when
it.
he goes back, did you catch who when he's in the bar? Because he actually goes back to the hotel.
Yes.
Brief moment toward the end. But
Yeah.
did you see the guy, the bartender?
Yeah.
How he looks just like Jack Nicholson?
Jack Nicholson.
Oh,
yes.
does
Do
he?
you know who that is?
Probably his son, right?
No.
Not Jack.
No, you know who that is?
No.
That's the guy who played Elliot from E.T.
No way.
That's
Oh,
him.
really?
Wow.
That's him.
That's awesome.
It was very cool. It was
Looks
very
like
cool.
Nicholson though. He really did.
The eyebrows, everything.
I'll have to watch that.
Haircut, he looks just like back when they filmed The Shining back in the day.
Yeah, I was gonna watch it. I just totally
Yeah.
haven't.
It's a good one if you get a chance
No,
to.
I that one did intrigue me a little bit. So.
3 hours and 15 minutes. It's a good
Yeah.
show. Though.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
a good one. But it's fun, 'cause especially when they go back to the hotel.
Yeah.
That was the part I was waiting for. I was like, I want to see the hotel.
Right.
And then here they are driving up to it.
Speaking of the hotel, I didn't put a picture. Dan had also had another picture of when he was there. He snapped off a picture of the entrance.
Oh yeah.
So let me get that
Oh,
up there. 'cause
yeah,
that's
that's
pretty
beautiful.
cool looking. I mean, the place is elegant. Don't get me wrong. It's just that you see it on TV, especially the movie doesn't do it justice. But
Yeah.
oh damn, hang on.
Now we had talked to a couple people too that they said the rooms are very dated.
Yeah.
But I mean, again, that's
They
what,
are.
that's
They
what I
are.
enjoy.
Yeah.
Which is
Right.
so. I enjoy the historical side of things.
Oh yeah.
So
Keep
I'd
'em
rather.
original.
Yeah, I'd
Yeah.
rather have the original, the woodwork and the carpets, of course.
Yeah. No, it looks incredible. It's just you think as the outside, it's just this big, ginormous place, and
Yeah.
and what do you call it? Sorry, I was trying to think what I was gonna say, but then you go inside and it's a little bit more
Yeah, it's
little bit
petite.
dated. It's they kept it to, well, I mean they kept it as much as they could, because it reminds me a lot of the Wilson Hotel where you see this building and you don't know what it's gonna look like inside it, but it's still
Exactly.
pretty
It's just-
authentic, other than it's just modernized as much as you guys. Bunch of amateurs.
We are.
It just, they did the best to make it as modern as they could.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's what this is showing too. But yeah, the one thing I noticed too, I've heard over the years, is it's not what you think it's going to look like, and then you think it'd be more like a Holiday Inn or Ramada, kind of a brand new
Right.
feel, and it's not.
No.
Which is good.
Where's the Overlook in Washington? Where's that
It's
located?
not in
Oregon.
Washington.
Oregon.
Or Oregon. Oh, sorry,
I'm going to
Oregon.
tell you because you're going to go, and then you're going to get kicked out of there too. I'll have to find it real quick.
I've never got us kicked out of anywhere.
It's in. I'll find it real quick here.
No, it's just because I think next year Corey and I are heading out
Oh,
in
yeah,
that
you are.
direction. So,
Yeah.
And it's not the Overlook anymore. It's called the Timberline Lodge. Is what it's called now.
oh, why?
But it's still-
Why change it?
Well, it's kind of
Stupid.
both. I mean, they claim it to be both, but it's just.
All right. So see the Timberline.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, there's been another a movie or a show. One of our, one of the new paranormal everything's all about Satan and hell and everybody's demons show. And I'm not going to name it because I don't want to give them again credit. But they were at the Timberline. Yeah.
When was this?
Yeah.
A recent show?
Yeah.
I don't know if I know what that is. I'll think
What
about
show?
it. What's it start with?
Gates of Hell.
Gates of Hell.
Gates
Yeah.
of Hell. What's
Portals to Hell.
Portals of Hell.
I was like,
sorry.
what's
Portals to Hell.
Oh, but I like this. I like Jack Osborne. I like
I do
Trina,
too. I like
Woman.
Trina. Yeah.
I mean, she's well
But
known.
why do they have to make it all about evil, 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 evil everywhere, every episode? It's like,
it's just the angle. I mean,
And again, yeah, they do go into locations where people claim that are portals to hell
Right.
and demon portals, and they there's nothing here that's that evil. So yeah, they do kind of disprove some
what a
things.
moron. I knew what that was. I should have never even looked it up. It's Mount Hood. I knew that.
Oh,
Mount
Mount
Hood,
Hood?
Oregon. Yeah, I knew
Okay.
that. God dang it, what an idiot. Anyway, no, like I said, Katrina I trust because she's been doing it for so many years. And
Yes.
she's.
yeah, but she's doing what the show's telling her to.
They try to do it with us.
I know.
I mean,
I know.
so I get the angle of it and stuff, but I mean, you gotta have a viewership. I mean, if it's just another ghost show, I've already seen it. It's already been done.
Hmm.
How much more can you different? I mean, I knock some of those shows because I mean, I'm sure that's all scripted. A lot of it is. I mean, the Ghost Brothers.
Yeah, yeah,
But hell, it's fun. I told my wife the other day, I was like, I should, because it was on TV. They had a marathon going on. Ghost Brothers. And the Ghost Brothers show is the African American three guys.
yeah.
They go in there and they're like, the whole shit, kind of, goddamn, that whole mentality. I was like, I should do the Mexican version of it. I'm like, oh, what was I saying? God damn it. Look over there, SA. There's a, we were doing that shit, and I was doing my Mexican voice, and she was dying. She's like, you should do that. I'm like, I'm not gonna freaking do that.
No, that would
Next
be
thing you
kinda
know,
funny.
cha-ching. Leonard's in freaking khakis and bandanas and white tees.
And we're sending him in alone.
Bandanas, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Leo, you go over here.
Right.
You know?
Oh,
No, but anyways, it's like I said, if it was somebody else trying to start it off, I'd be like, another stupid show,
Yeah.
But Jack Osborne, I liked his Highways to Hell, whatever it was they had at one time. That was
Right.
pretty cool with him and God dang it, Dana. I can't remember her name. She was easy in the eyes to look to. That's why I liked watching the show. 'Cause
Yeah.
she was cute. She's a model they threw in there, and she took it serious. I just saw a shadow run where you just saw it that one day. Anywho, I was like, what the hell's behind Jason? That fuzzy looking carpet. It's the Stanley Hotel still. That's funny. But no, anyways, and I saw that Jack Osborne's going to do another show starting August 2nd. It's with his family. It's the Osbornes. It's Ozzy and Sharon and him, and he shows them videos and shit. And
Oh, yeah,
they
yeah.
had to go over that. Kind of like the Osbornes on MTV at one time had their show, which was fun to watch. I mean,
Yes.
I'm a big Ozzy fan, so I was into it. But this one, I'll give it a watch just to see what it's about. So
it was interesting.
yeah, I'll watch the new Ghost one coming up. Just I
I'll
watch
just-
them all.
I'll
watch
just
them all.
listen. I'll just wait till you tell me what it's all about.
Well, they got a new one out called Ghost Loop. Have you seen that yet?
What's it called? Ghost Loop?
Ghost Loop.
I don't like that one. That's the one they do the experimentations, right?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
it just seems there was not a lot of evidence they presented, and it's just they do something. They just do some investigating. I mean,
Yeah.
like we do, and it's the same. Nothing flashy. I mean, to me,
Right.
I mean, I'm not knocking. It's just it didn't grab my attention as much as some of the other ones. Like
Yeah, and the
Yeah.
people that are presenting it just
Yeah.
doesn't seem watchable.
I don't like when shows have to have an angle, like, and I'm not gonna knock any of the shows, but okay, like every show has to have a portal in every place you go.
Yeah.
Not every place has a portal
No.
necessarily. Maybe it does. Hell, maybe I'm stupid for saying that, but
Maybe they need to point out where the portal is and show
Well,
it to
they-
people.
well, you can't see a portal, or can you?
Can you?
but-
Can you not?
Seeing,
How do they know it's even there?
We've talked about this recently
I
with
know it.
we talked about the Queen Mary having that portal in the the shower room, whatever, the dressing room, whatever, and it's been known well, I've been on the outside, I've never been inside, but you go in that area and it's like you feel it. Well, I talked about the house we investigated here in Wichita. None of you guys got to go do it, but where you could feel this thing, and I'm assuming that's maybe what it was, because I walked over there and I'm like, didn't say anything at first. I'm like, oh my god, I just felt like I was twisting and spinning and just felt real sonar-y, kind of just, oh god, and it felt kind of nauseous. I'm like, this feels weird. So I started to say, hey, I said, Jeremiah, come here real quick, because Jeremiah was there that night with me, and the lady goes, that's where they come from. And I'm like, you didn't even know what I was doing over here. I didn't say anything at first. I said, come here for a second. And she's like, oh yeah, that's where they come. That's where they basically form out of. And I'm like, okay. And then that's the place we talked about. We caught the ectoplasm. To me, the closest I've ever seen him, possibly. Didn't take pictures of it, of course, because stupid me, I'm dumbfounded once again. I'm like, oh, what is this? But you touch it, and it was this gelatinous whatever, and it was weird. And it probably shouldn't be touching it, but she was shocked it was dripping down the wall. She's like, what is that? I'm like, you tell me. This is your home. Of course, this is the home she moved out of because she thought it was voodoo. And
the voodoo house. Okay,
yeah, we referred to it as the voodoo house. Yeah, and that was just a bizarre case because I wanted to believe in it, but then until I got there, and I left there with more crazy shit than anything. So we need to go over those evidence one of these days. You guys need to hear that because it's crazy.
Yes, sir.
We did it one day at Rose's house. I brought it to you there, and you weren't there, and Dan wasn't a part of the show yet or anything like that. But we went over with a group that was there, and they were blown away with the stuff that was there.
You just say the day, and we're here.
What are you doing right now? Anything? No, I'm kidding.
Let's do it.
So, but yeah, we'll bring that out. I'll play some evidence from that because that stuff is just I don't know what to think about that. That place was bizarre, and I would like to know what happened that lady. I know she moved out, and
need to drive me by there sometime.
And it's always good when I go in there. It wasn't in the best part of town, I'll tell you that first and foremost, because I was edgy thinking about, do I hire a police officer to come take me up here?
Right.
But no, and then we pulled up and there's cops next door right away. I'm like, God, Jesus.
Were they really?
Waiting for a long, yeah, they questioned the people next door. I'm like, this is going to be a fun night. And I'm thinking, I kept asking, because she thought the ex-husband was the one cursing her. He started dating a woman from Louisiana, which I'm like,
shoot.
Okay, yeah, I could go on. Because she sent me pictures. She was like, I came out one day and there's salt all over my porch and I'm going around the whole property kind of a thing. I'm like, is this is somebody trying to keep something in? And then she sent me pictures of her car. She thought there was like symbols drawn on her car, scratched into it by her husband.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, and he would drive by on a bike because he lived not too far down the street with his new girlfriend. And he would just say stuff to her, and then she said, I came home one day and there was my hair dug out of the trash. She cut her hair or something and dug it out of the trash, and it was binded in something and thrown on my porch. And I'm like, you may very well have a voodoo freaking going on, a voodoo situation going on in your house, but I didn't want to commit to that till we got there. But it was a bizarre place. I was on edge all night, tell you that much. Kept my eyes open.
That's crazy.
Because it was bizarre. And it was just, the house was empty except for one chair. She left there to sit down in until she could fully, we got to investigate and then moved out, because she wanted to know what's going on. And it's one of those cases that, what was that? Is that you? You heard that, right?
Yeah.
It's one of those weird cases, so interesting. But
wow, that was weird.
Continue on, which Dan's vacation. Yeah. So Stanley, did you do any filming in there, recording in there, anything like that?
No.
I was just curious.
They were again really freaky. Very few people were, social distancing.
Yeah.
Very few people were wearing masks, and they had a mask policy there as well.
Sure.
Dan and I were on we had our mask on when we went into the building, on the porch, anywhere where we were at.
Right.
And there were just too many people just jacking around inside. We didn't want to hang around too much.
And that's the same thing I get from, the Crescent Hotel. It's become too well known, and I've never been there, but I know you went recently, and it's a similar thing where you can't go off by yourself, investigate. It's just ghost tour only, and you can't bring your own equipment in there and shit, kind of a thing. Could you?
I did.
Yeah, I know you had, but you're not supposed to.
No,
or they don't encourage it.
They don't encourage it.
Plus,
they sell it there too. They want you to buy theirs.
Do they really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. That's funny.
Yeah.
Well, we talked to the guy. Remember that one night when we were trying to? What were we doing? Is that when we were trying to get an idea of how we were going to run things? Even Wilson, I think. Remember one day at Rose's old house, we sat down, you, myself, and Rose. Remember, he called him. You don't remember that, do you?
Oh, yeah, I do now.
Yeah, he called him.
Man,
he's like,
that was a long time ago.
Hey, I know, right? He's like, hey, just curious about your tour. Rose's playing dumb, but he's doing his car salesman kind of a thing. And it was, Jason and I were just sitting there chuckling in the background, and he's asking them all kinds of random questions. But he called the actual Crescent trying to figure out about the ghost tour. And he's
really? Wow.
The potential, I want to visit, and I want to do that. Yeah, we'll definitely come down, just Rose. But yeah, you read all about that, didn't you?
No, I remember the day sitting there at his house and doing it.
Yeah, we were sitting there on a Friday night, just sitting there.
Rose's not afraid to call anybody.
No, he's good about that. So, but yeah, I knew the Crescent's become kind of like that too, where it's unfortunate some of these places are becoming that because shows like Ghost Adventures, Ghost Hunters over the years,
Yeah.
and other places go to there and they capture similar evidence all the time, which maybe it is really happening, or it's just the fact they've even been there and they caught, oh, it's haunted and whatever else, and next thing you know.
But yeah, the Crescent, like say you walk in the front door, of course, to your left is the front desk, and
Yeah.
it's, it's old. It looks like an old telegraph station. It's kind of
Sure.
cool. But you look from the desk over here, they have a whole corner, and it's got 2 tables with merchandise. You can buy your little stuffed ghost. You can buy the book. You can buy T-shirts, and they got photographs there that you can look
It's
at.
commercialized.
It's
yeah.
all commercialized now. Yeah.
I knew it was, but
Yeah.
it's fine.
And hey, it's valid. I mean, it's haunted.
Yeah, of course
But
it is.
and it's spooky. But again, I was in 2 or 3 different locations in that same town that I felt
Yeah,
were
just as
much
equally
more haunted.
Yeah, or even more. Yeah,
Yeah,
which we're trying to get into one eventually.
yeah, weird
Yeah.
stuff going on in here today.
Yeah, I know. Yeah,
So, but
you haven't been here for a while. You haven't
No.
you haven't heard the stories and experienced some of the stuff that's been going on here.
yeah,
Yeah, I don't know what it is.
Yeah, it's weird.
But what Dan's talking about in the studio, there's some things we hear some things through the speakers and the mics and stuff like that. But we've seen some interesting things, a shadow person and whatnot in here, and
Silhouette, you're right.
You missed what I was watching. I don't know if you saw my eyes. It's been a while, about 20 minutes ago or so. I followed something from here, and I was just falling on camera like you'll see me on camera going like this, like.
Yeah,
What the fuck is that? Thing. And just like sitting there floating, and then it went that way towards you guys, and I'm like, sorry, it just
weird stuff.
Yeah.
Love it though.
Yeah,
But yeah, no, the Crescent. I mean, I enjoyed it. I will stay there.
yeah,
The problem is, and that's there. You can go stay at the Crescent a regular night for $175 a night.
right.
You decide to stay in one of the haunted rooms, of course, and I understand it's supply and demand. People are wanting it.
Of
It's
course.
$375 to $450,
Yeah,
and that's what it's Stanley.
yeah,
They wanted $459 for a room that they claim is haunted. It's not any of the rooms that I'm aware is haunted, so it's like, well, no, I don't think so.
yeah,
And I did. Dana and I sat there and we decided, well, we're not going to spend the night here. Number one, the town is too commercialized. I mean,
sure.
we went down on the strip and there was probably 2,000 people walking up and down Main Street. No one had masks on. There was cops in every corner to
Yeah.
make sure that if you went into a shop, you had your mask on.
Okay.
But if you're walking, social distance, and you don't have to wear a mask.
Yep.
People were 2 feet away from each other, inches away from each other in groups of 10 or 12.
Right.
And no one wearing masks. And there's so much car traffic, we'd sit there and we'd watch, 50 people walk by and they're just coughing and hacking and you can hear people coughing and sneezing. And it's like, wow, we can't do this anymore. So we decided, I got on the internet. I said, well, we're going to find us a place to sleep. Where are you going to go? Well, we decided we'd go to Idaho Springs. We looked at a place. We was going to stay at there's a called Indian Hot Springs down there, which is it's got the haunted caves. And
Right.
they were closed for COVID. They were going to open up for another 3 days.
Oh wow.
So we went. Well, I know Cripple Creek's haunted. Let's look at what we got
sure.
over there.
I think it was a share. Yeah, I was like,
Okay.
oh yeah.
So I'm like, well, shoot, let's see what I can find over there. I mean, I know the palace over there is haunted, which
Yeah.
turns out that it's been completely gutted
Oh, really?
and it's closed, so we didn't stay there. The Molly House, it's haunted. It's a casino, but we didn't really want to stay at a casino. And well, shoot, look at this place. And I found this place called St. Nicholas, the St. Nicholas Hotel.
Mm-hmm.
And it said Colorado's top 10 most haunted places. Well, it's number 3. I'm like,
Nice.
well, shoot,
Cool.
let's do this. Dana and I called him up. I said, well, I called the guy up on the phone and I talked to a guy named Luke, which is the caretaker of the place. I'm like, hey, Luke, so I want to see what you guys had available for this evening. Yeah. They've only been opened up for like 2 weeks because of COVID. They just opened back up. I'm like, well, what do you have available? He says, well, we got about everything available. I got one long-term staying here and about everything else is open. And I'm like, well, I'm going to be honest with you. I'm calling because you're haunted. He says, okay, yeah, I hear that a lot. I'm like, okay, cool. I want the most haunted room that you have available. I said, well, how many of you is there? He goes, there's just me and the wife. I'd like to have a queen or a king bed. Well, the most haunted room has 2 twins.
Okay.
I'm like, well,
Push them together.
I was like, is it haunted? He goes, yeah. There's a lot of stuff goes on in there. I'm like, okay, well, let's do that then.
Sure.
So we did the 2-hour drive and we got over there and ended up at the St. Nicholas Hotel in Colorado Springs.
So this is it right
That's
here.
the St. Nicholas Hotel on screen right now. Yeah.
That
It
is
looks like it's in the middle of nowhere.
It reminds me of a school.
Yeah, it honestly does. Yeah.
That's what I thought too. I was like, "What is the school he went to?" And then I zoomed in on the sign earlier before you guys got here, and I was like, "Oh, that's his hotel."
Yeah, it's a hotel. It's I don't know, 40-degree angle probably up on the top of the hill, the highest point in Cripple Creek. You look at our window and you can look straight down to the valley.
Oh wow!
It's 4 blocks, 3.5 blocks down the hill,
Yeah.
and it's crazy. So we get there, and of course you see the front entrance there. You can't park there because the road is at an angle, so you can't park on the
really?
front. You park on the back side, and it's a little gravel parking lot back there, and we parked in there and walked in the back door. You got to take 5 steps down into the building to go to the front office, which is the front door.
Cool.
So you got to go up a couple steps and then go down a bunch of steps to get into the building.
Yeah, because it doesn't look very steep there, but I'm sure it is.
Oh yeah, it's crazy. I should have got a better picture from
That's okay.
downtown, but yeah, it's crazy. So we get in there.
Just real quick,
Yeah.
Tiffany had a question. She said, "Did you see the 2 dolls at the one room at the Stanley?" She can't remember which room they were. She said there's $2 in a room while they waited for the tour to start. Did you happen to see anything like that?
Oh, that's over by the there's a car. And when you first walk in the building, there's a car on your right hand side. The elevators are right there, and then the gift shop is over here.
Okay.
When you start going to the main hallway we didn't get to go into the room. There's by the hallway with all the pictures. There's a huge hallway. It's got Jack Nicholson, Jim Carrey. It's got all the pictures on that wall of all the famous people that's been through
cool.
there, and Zach. So yeah, we didn't get to go and see or touch the dolls or.
Did
Yeah.
you get your picture up?
No, I did not.
No.
Real quick on the Stanley, the thing is, my wife and them stayed down the street from it. They drove past it, like they stayed there for a couple of days in Estes Park for her brother was graduating from school and they decided to stay there. What do you call it? He was graduating from bank school, but anyways, they drove past every day and I don't think they ever went in. I don't remember if they did or not. I'll have to ask her, but they ended up moving on to Boulder after that, and the very next, I think, remember if it was a couple days later or the week later, that's when they had the bear inside the lobby. Remember? Did you ever see that video of the bear that went into the Stanley Hotel?
I remember that.
Because my youngest son was like, I was like, I don't want to go there because I didn't go with them, and I'll tell you why in a second here, but I knew there was all kinds of bears and wildlife. It's like it's in the mountains, or whatever. What do you expect? Well, sure as shit. A week later, and he saw the video. He's like, "Oh my god, that's where we were just there, Dad." I'm like, "I know."
Bear walking.
How'd they get it out?
I don't know.
Don't know?
I know he opened the door himself and
Stick
got
on a
in.
stick.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's probably a normal occurrence. They see bears all the time and animals there and elk and whatnot.
We were leaving.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so this is another story. This is a good one. We were leaving the Stanley to head to Cripple Creek, and of course, it's crazy because Estes Park is way up in the hills. So you gotta go through a valley. You gotta go through the mountains. Passes to get up there. So we're going down the mountain pass to leave
Right.
Estes Park, and it's curvy. I mean, there's a bunch of
sure.
kickbacks. You got to go down,
Right.
and it's going fast because we're rolling, and so I'm on the brakes most of the time. Well, I'm coming around a curve, and then I look forward, and there's a car sitting on the side of the road. Okay, one side is just sheer cliff. The other side is a rock wall.
Okay.
And so this guy's sitting on the side of the road, sticking out in the road with these hazard lights on, and he's leaning up against his car. So I got all my concentration on him, making sure there's no cars coming at me, concentrating on him. making sure that I don't, he doesn't step out in front of my car or what have you.
Sure.
We're doing about 40 mile an hour, and I'm getting ready to pass him, and I, for some reason, decided to look up and to the left, and there's a pack of freaking bighorns.
Oh yeah.
Go.
There's a bighorn right in front of my truck. I slammed on the brakes, and we missed him by inches.
Oh jeez.
And that thing looks up at me, gives me that go to hell look, turns around, and takes 2 steps away and then walks away.
Yeah.
And this guy's over here looking at me like I'm an asshole because I almost killed a bighorn. But he's sitting in the middle of the freaking road taking pictures, retarded.
Oh, that's what he was doing?
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
It was terrible. Almost killed me a bighorn and myself on the.
Yeah, dude, that's sketchy, man. That's why I don't like going to places like that.
Yeah.
I'm just like, I'll stay where it's nice and flat in the middle of Kansas.
It was beautiful, though. It was fun.
I'll
Come on, you're the California boy.
Shit.
Yeah.
Well, there's lots of hills and mountains there.
I know how to drive some of them.
I know.
That was fun, let me tell you. Not as bad as, well, they have their own share. Different types, but
They
yeah.
got bear. They got.
Yeah.
They
got
got
coyote and shit.
They got coyote.
Yeah, like
They
we
got
do, too.
grizzly out there. Come on
Yeah.
now.
Hey, we're getting black bears in Kansas now.
I know we are.
I
It's
saw
getting
an
crazy.
article today that because they're looking for food and
Yeah.
they're coming in.
Time to go squatching
Fuck that.
when it's cooler.
Yeah, when it's cooler.
When it's cooler.
But no, sorry, going back to St. Nicholas Hotel. Sorry, I didn't mean to get off on a tangent. But I was just answering Tiffany's question. So good question, Tiffany. I forgot they had those dolls there. I've never been there. Oh, the reason I didn't go is because that's when we did our 2 or 3 days in Oberlin. That day we went out there and
Yeah.
we went on a Friday morning, I think it was, or Friday afternoon time we got there, and we were there Friday night, Saturday night. That was the infamous rain dance with me and the door slamming out there. That was that weekend. So.
You mean the moment you left me with all the gas?
I know, but I was
Talking to
having my
myself.
own moment.
Talking to myself, and he like ditched me
Well, Dan got to see the aftermath of it. I came out of there as soon as I was brave enough to walk through that door.
because he wasn't there, was he?
No, it was me by
You
myself.
were just watching.
No, he was there.
No, I was there.
That
You were
night.
there?
I went back here when
We went and saw the footsteps. Remember?
the wet footprints.
As
coming
I
from the
dealt with
cowboy.
with our gas.
Yeah, we walked back there, and
Sorry.
that's when we no, cause I saw Dan. I ran into Dan and Jake once I got brave enough to go to the door. I'm like, holy shit! Went to that door, came into the area where everybody was at, and they were coming outside. Jake was going to go outside and smoke, and Dan was. I was like, dude, you never believe what just happened.
I was trying to find him, make sure he's okay. Yeah. I couldn't find him anywhere.
I was looking around at our guests who were looking at me like, they're so bored out of their mind.
Well, that storm was bad.
That was gnarly.
Yeah,
that's why
I know.
we had that big lapse and break, whatever. But no, I was telling Dan, I was like, dude, the door's moving back here and shit, and all kinds of stuff. The door slammed on me. So Dan and I approach it, and we're looking from the outside, looking in, whatever, kind of, and the door starts moving on command. That was Jason yawning.
Okay.
Sorry.
I was like, if you're here by that door, make a sound with that door, and all of a sudden, the door starts rattling. I looked at Dan like, holy shit.
Yeah, it was
like,
crazy.
you heard that, right?
Yeah.
So we opened the door, and lo and behold, there was wet footprints in there. And it wasn't me, because when I go back to camera and look and everything, I never go outside in the rain at all, number one.
Right.
Well, it wasn't tennis shoe footprints either, though.
No, boot.
Yeah, they're boot.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're heel and
I didn't see it.
You saw it. You came up afterwards. You and Jeremiah came out there.
Yeah,
or somebody.
but it was like already deforming and
But
stuff.
the thing
a
is,
little
though,
bit,
the thing that
but-
was really I liked about it, other than Dan got to see it with me and stuff, was the fact that it looked like somebody was peering in that window, standing on the outside of the door. But the fact was crazy was you have to go down that long stables basically
Right.
to get to that
Right.
where the open door is raining right there.
Right.
Well, there was no
no other footprints.
rain footprints coming into there. It
No.
was just
Yeah.
on the outside door down where the door had slammed. I'm like, that's crazy. And it's
Yeah.
all on camera, so it's on Facebook Live, which I remember Chris watching. He's like, holy shit, dude, because he's freaking out just as much as I am. And somebody else was too. I can't remember. They're seeing all this shit. And I was making jokes about it. This reminds me of a horror movie because it's raining real bad. And you can see the lightning on camera and shit. It was gnarly.
Well, you was in the room with all the sickles and all
Yeah,
that. Yeah, I mean,
that's what I'm saying. I'm laughing over here, kind of half scared, mostly scared. I'm like, if something moves in this place, I'm fucked.
Did you have that on Everyday Legacy?
I want to say probably.
Probably.
Everyday
Okay.
Legacy
Yes.
Colonel,
I'm gonna have to
yeah.
get it on and share it with Road Trip
I
again.
need to
just
record it or get it off the page and just cut it up and dice it because it used to be a part of
Yeah.
our old intro.
Right. Yeah.
That door slamming.
But that whole investigation would have been fun to like watch.
It's still good because that's when we had the
anything we do.
soldier talking to us
Oh yeah.
with
yeah.
the spear box and right next to the
the hell was that?
What did you hear?
You didn't hear that?
I heard something, but what was it?
There's a male sitting there saying "whoa" or something. Of
I heard that.
nature.
Okay, I heard like a or whatever. I didn't know what that was.
Wow.
It's been strange here in the
Yeah.
studio.
Yeah.
But no, that same night is when Jake and I. He just had his got his SLS camera, and we were over in the
Right.
barber shop, and we had
That was Jason again.
Sorry.
Okay, we had that male
Yes.
kept coming to us, and then the next day we go out to the cemetery
dude.
and we find the actual guy.
I lost my because Jason's wandering off clearing the back of the cemetery, and I'm just drawn by something to walk down this way. So I'm just looking around, kind of moseying along. I look over there. I'm like,
I watched you take away,
like-
run away from everybody.
because I was just going. I saw the shadow again. I was going straight down because it goes down a hill kind of, and I'm just walking, and I don't know why. I don't know what drew me away from there, the group, and all of a sudden I'm just walking, and I just start getting pulled to this area. So I'm like, I'm gonna go check this out, and I walk over there, and sure as enough, there's this. I'm like, holy shit, this is the guy's name that they were hearing the night before.
Yeah. So at the night before the during the investigation,
Right.
it was Dan and Jake
Yeah.
primarily that were
Yeah.
with guests.
Right.
You were in
The
the
barber shop.
yeah, I forgot what they call the second annex.
The annex.
The Senate annex,
Yeah,
yes.
the annex building of the last Indian Raid Museum.
It's the Decatur County last Indian Raid Museum.
I'm sorry.
In Oberlin, Kansas. Sorry, I'm just giving you shit.
But I always
It's a
do.
long ass name.
Yeah, I know. Decatur County last Indian Raid Museum up in Oberlin.
Yep.
And they were getting like amazing hits with Spirit Box and everything
Yeah.
Oh,
in
yeah.
the annex.
We had
I
a
mean,
full name.
full name,
Full name.
and the
Right.
fact that the voices in there. I mean, there's shadows in there like crazy. There is there's been full body apparition inside.
Seeing glowing. I saw something and Paula saw something.
Yeah.
2 different times.
Paula saw the glowing
That's what I
face. She
saw,
said it
too.
was like orange.
I
kinda
saw it
like
by the
a-
dresses, and that's where she saw hers.
Yeah.
Which is crazy that we saw it on 2 different.
Exactly.
Oh crap! I
Two
forgot
different.
about that
2 different.
night.
Whatever.
Remember that?
Yeah.
Who
So-
was with me that we went back here? We had to go back here behind the dresses. We kept chasing something back
That was you
there.
and I think. I was behind there for a while. I asked, is it okay if I step over these? Because we had the board members with us.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
And they, yeah, go ahead. And I'm like, fuck, I'm going behind the scenes then. Fuck it. Yeah, we chased something.
I forgot about
Because
that,
Jake,
man.
later on, Jake was with us too, and we had the SLS, remember? And he was
Yeah.
following us, whatever, and the chain was rattling in front of us. The chain you had to cross over after, I mean, I'd been over that by a while.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that thing was crazy.
Yeah.
That was a crazy night. I mean, we had a lot of stuff going on in that building.
we were getting the shadows, or we were getting confirmation through the flashlights, and something else was going off. I don't remember what it was.
Did we do 2 nights there?
Yeah, we did it
That
Friday
weekend?
and Saturday night. We also did it in the afternoon, the VFW place.
Yeah, and I just remember, the cemetery thing was amazing.
It was amazing.
That floored me, dude. And then when I started doing a live ghost box session, I need to find that footage because
Yeah.
we were getting answers from the grave, which was
Yeah,
to me
and it had
weird.
names.
Yeah.
It brought names up.
Like it knew we were there and stuff. And but the fact that I just big ass cemetery, had never been there. Well, we've been there. We didn't outside. We didn't go explore like we did that time. We were walking around. We had time to kill, whatever. And
Well, I mean, a spirit can do anything. They're everywhere, so
they are.
I'm sure
Yeah,
they're
yeah,
I'm
they
sure
are.
they're following you,
Yeah.
especially if you're trying to piece together a puzzle.
Right.
Well, and you got to think about it. I mean, they were talking about the barber. After
Yeah.
they finally gave us the information. It's, well, yeah, that's him, and that's his name. And
I can't remember his name at all.
no, I can't either. But I mean, we have it on.
Yeah,
on-
footage everywhere.
Yeah,
I'll never forget that was the same. I believe it was the same trip that Jake was there with the SLS, and we kept hearing like we were in the back part of the main
Mhm.
museum and everything where they have a lot of displays up.
Right.
And he's going around, walking around with the SLS, and we were starting hearing like metal pinging, and
Mhm.
we're like, what is that? And I'm following behind him with
Mhm.
my camera filming him on the SLS. He turns and there's a bunch of the old-fashioned sewing machines.
That's right.
yeah.
Yeah.
Where you have the pedal
Right.
and you're turning it with your hand and you have to pedal it all the way.
Yep.
And on the SLS, you see a figure actually in
Sitting at the
motion
desk.
doing that motion.
I've never
of-
seen that footage ever.
Oh my
I
God,
don't
I'll
have
have
it
to-
recorded.
I have it recorded
Yeah.
on. It was live. I filmed it live.
Okay, because you were having trouble with that night, remember? That's why I took over.
Yeah,
I think you started the road trip,
But
and I
I-
took over on ELP.
yeah.
That's what it was.
but
yeah.
I did capture that.
Cool. I'll have to go back and find that.
Because he's seeing that and he's just like, "What the hell?"
Yeah.
They're sitting there just going through the motions,
Yeah.
and then it stopped.
And then it stopped.
And
It was a
Yeah,
weird
great.
place.
It was great.
That's
It
the
was
place that I talk about a lot too when we talk about Annabelle and stuff with the Raggedy Ann dolls. There's 2 or 3 of them in 2
Oh
different
my
places.
God,
yeah,
there's
two
like-
different
4 in that
places.
one room, and then in
One
the
in the
main
annex.
annex, there's 2,
Yeah.
1 or 2 in there.
And that's the place I'm always trying to get it to move, and everybody's like, "Stop!" You know, I'm like, "No,
No,
I want
stop
this, shit, I
being
want
a
this shit to
weenie."
move because if it works, you're gonna thank me later when you're running out the building because I've made your adventure good."
Yeah. See, that's
Well, they have a couple, early 1800, maybe mid 1800 cornhusk dolls in there that I try to get some action out of.
In the annex
The
building.
annex
Okay,
too,
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, there's some creepy dolls in that
Yes.
one. Yeah, some weird ones. The first ones are okay in the other building, but yeah, that second one was weird. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm always trying to get shit to do things. We were actually getting a map on there, but I think it was the doll itself was mapping
Yeah.
with the SLS.
I bet it was, yeah.
Because at first we were like, "Holy crap!" But we had some good interaction, and
It was good.
Yeah.
That weekend was
That was
some
a
crazy
fun weekend.
investigation.
I'm excited to get back there again.
I'm not.
You just don't want to drive.
I don't want to
there.
drive the 5 hours, dude. It sucks.
I'll drive. You sleep.
I
I'll
don't like.
just.
I hate. If I'm not driving, I hate driving. I hate riding too. That's just.
Hey, you let me drive one time. You rode with me.
Not to Overland.
15 passenger
Well,
van.
one time.
Half of asleep. 2 people drive. We're good to
Leo's
go.
like, nope, I'm driving.
Yeah, I like driving because it just keeps my mind off shit and whatever else.
Well, last time what we did is
I feel the
perfect-
trust and the love.
Oh well,
you
no,
know
that's
that.
when we went to Norton. That's when we went to Norton.
I didn't go to that one.
We drove halfway there.
You drove all the way back, didn't you?
Yeah, we drove all the way
Yeah,
back. but-
freaking insane. Middle of the night. Screw that.
Yeah, we decided to spend the night in Wilson, and we got stayed a night. But that was after an incident, so we
Yeah.
had to do it anyway.
Yeah.
Well, that was on the way up there.
Yeah, on the way up. Yeah, on the way back we drove.
Yeah,
Right.
we just
It's
drove.
horrible.
It was stupid.
Yeah, it was
Stupid.
stupid. Yeah, we should have stopped over in
oh, that's right. I remember now. Okay, I remember some of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
what
okay.
else on your trip?
Sorry, he went back to. We never finished St. Nicholas. I want to hear about
We
this.
haven't-
But
we
I don't
haven't.
know much about this place other than I know it's a.
It is now a bed and breakfast / hotel.
Right. That's
beautiful.
on camera again.
Yeah, it's
screen.
on camera again. So we'll go back to this building here. Okay, so we decided to spend the night here. We did ask him to give us the most haunted room in the building, which he did. Room number 11. He's fine with me putting it out there.
Cool.
Brandon and Joanne are the owners. Luke is the
Your father?
Luke is my
Sorry,
father.
my
We,
bad.
we actually several people did the same thing.
Oh, I
when we was
guarantee
there.
you. That's the obvious joke.
Yeah,
it's too
exactly.
easy.
But he's the caretaker of the building. But he gave us the whole spiel of the building. So we get there and we're deciding. We get everything set up in our room, and of course, I don't go anywhere without a case of equipment. So
Hell
you
yeah.
know, we're trying.
Same here.
K2, and I had the REM pod out, and first thing I do, I was get open the room and I put the K2 out and start asking questions, and again, at this point, I have no information other than what I read online about.
Sure.
There's a spirit they call Mr. Stinky, but he's on the back staircase. It smells like sewage. He smells like sewage or rotten flesh. They claim that area back there is where the mental ward was. They said the rumors online are that there was a mental hospital at part of the hotel. However, the hotel is only 3 floors. There's a total of 15 rooms. Now, by the size of the rooms, they've increased the size of the rooms. So there's probably 30 back in the heyday,
Oh, wow.
actual hospital style rooms. But talking to the owners, they believe that the mental hospital part of it was just a story to increase likability of the stories. They don't believe there was a mental ward.
Oh,
There's no
really?
documentation of it.
Okay.
However, they did house people that had mental problems because the doctor was a psychiatrist at some time. So they had 2 or 3 patients here and there that did have mental issues. So that's probably where it all came from.
Okay. I never knew that.
Yeah. But the actual building was built in 1898 by an organization called Sisters of Mercy. They're a bunch of nuns that came over from Ireland. And what they did is they built orphanages and housing and hospitals for areas of poverty and of that nature. So the Sisters of Mercy would go around and they'd hire the best of doctors that they can find in the area for these little areas. And so what they did is they came to Cripple Creek because it was Cripple Creek was had at that point 1,900 or so people living there.
Nice.
On the way up to 20,000 because they just started their gold rush.
Right.
One of the biggest gold rushes in U.S. history at the time. And so the sisters bought a big flat house, like a ranch style, and they put a hospital through it. And, well, at that point, there was a miner that ran the community that did not like them coming to their town and preaching and telling, hey, this is how you're going to be saved, and this is how we're going to keep you guys healthy. This is how, whatever.
Right.
So in the middle of the night, he climbed up on their roof and took 3 sticks of dynamite, lit them up.
And who is this? The pastor?
No, this is a miner.
Miner.
The miner actually the miner that's running all the
Okay.
community. So he drops 3 sticks of dynamite down the chimney, lit.
That one right there.
No, this was the actual house. This is the original hospital.
This original.
So yeah, that's the hospital itself. So he drops these 3 sticks of dynamite down the chimney. They go off prematurely. They only fell about 4 feet into the chimney when they blew up. Blew the chimney, him off the roof, and he landed on the ground. The sisters came out, found him laying there bleeding, dying, and they nursed him back to health. They took him into the house, nursed him to health, and brought him back. So this guy decided his hate is now love, and changed everything that he did and financed them, and they purchased this ground and built this hospital on top of the hill. So this is the hospital that served the whole community for, well, from 1898 to 1930-ish, 38, so about 40 years. And then at that point, a doctor purchased it. But yeah, so we'll go on with the spirits in the building. There's a lot of history to the building itself. Again, the Sisters of Mercy had it until like 1938. A doctor purchased it after that, ran it from 38. He ran a doctor's office, small clinic, and it ran a nursing home out of the building itself until 1970, give or take, and then the building went empty for like 20 years. So now we'll go back to the Sisters of Mercy. One of the spirits in the house is, and they've always caught him on the second floor walking the hallways, is a tall, lanky gentleman in a suit and a bobber-style hat and black shoes. Sometimes you see his head, sometimes you don't. Turns out, no, that's the actual doctor there. Turns out the spirit, they believe, is a spirit of a guy named Roy. Now, story about Roy is when he was a boy back in 1908.
A rhyme? Yeah, I don't know. I laughed too.
When Roy was a boy.
Do you have a favorite toy?
Roy was a boy. He had a favorite toy. His favorite toy was dynamite. A lot of dynamite in this community, of course, because it's all mining town.
Right? Makes sense.
So I guess he was like 6 or 7 years old when this dynamite went off and blew both of his arms off.
Oh my God.
So this guy walked around, he had no arms. And his family, and, well, of course, the boy, they called him Armless, and they called him Twig and something like that. So the family...
Stumpy. I'm kidding.
the family had issues with it, and the boy couldn't do anything to sit there and help provide for the family and all that.
Yeah.
And so they had no use for him. So they dropped him off at the hospital with the Sisters of Mercies.
Wow.
And so he lived with the Sister of Mercies for his entire life. He did walk the halls of this hospital his entire life. He emptied trash cans. He handed devices to the sisters and did what he could to sit there and pay for his way through. And so yeah, that's one of the spirits they believe.
That's just shitty.
Yeah.
To drop somebody off just because. Well, sorry, about your luck. You don't have anything.
It's crazy.
You're not worth anything to the family, so we're gonna just drop you off.
Drop you off. Yeah.
Right.
Which is kind of funny how when my mom was growing up, she said that her dad, anytime her and her sisters would act up, that he was always saying,
Threatening.
don't make me drop you off in St. Joe. You know,
Wow.
I can see
to
that.
the psych wards and stuff.
It must be a common
You
practice
know,
back then or something.
don't let me. Don't make me drop you off. And see, that's where Glory Psychiatric Hospital was.
Yeah.
And everything. And that was a known place that you can just drop off your family, don't want them anymore, and
You got a headache? Well, I don't need you no more. Let's go. Get out.
Yeah.
Do you hear that? Do you hear that, Renee? I know you're watching. You're lucky.
We're just gonna take you off to St. Joe.
Right. Or Glore.
Glore. We'll take out your Glore.
I mean,
St.
Glory's
Joe's
in
still
St.
open.
Joe.
Yeah.
It's in St. Joe, so I mean that's the main hub of
Oh,
psychiatric work.
when you said St. Joe, I thought you meant St. Joe
St.
Hospital.
I-
No,
I- I
St.
did
Joe,
too.
Oh,
Missouri.
where
'Cause
Glore
what-
is at.
okay, sorry.
Okay, that
My
makes more
story,
sense.
no,
Because that's where your mom and them grew up. That
yeah,
makes
my
more
mom
sense.
and my
I'm following
parents,
you
yeah,
now.
all grew up in
I got
Missouri.
you now. That
Sorry.
makes more sense to me now. My bad.
We'll just sit there and say we're going to drop you off mental hospital number 7. Because that's number 7, you know.
True.
Glory
Yep.
Psychiatric. So, yeah, I mean, like I say, now, okay, you did have the picture up there a second ago, the doctor standing in the operating room.
Right.
Okay, so there's a story behind that as well. I don't know, have you want to send the picture of the room that we were staying
I haven't
in?
yet. I was trying
Okay.
to find it, follow you.
Okay,
But then
we'll
I
go
didn't
ahead
know
and put those two side by side. The
Just
picture
the doctor?
of
Or
the
what?
doctor, and then the picture of the 2 beds, I guess, if you see the room.
No.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we stayed in the most haunted room, they claim, in the hotel. So the first night that we stayed there, we had a few things happen. We had the double doors jiggle. Again, Dana sensed and smelt the spirit of Mr. Stinky.
Is that you?
Yeah, it was me, I think. I did some pizza that night, so it was pretty bad.
I think there's a Ren and Stimpy episode about Mr. Stinky.
Oh, my
Yeah,
God.
I bet there is.
Yeah, trying to find the Stinky, whatever, Mr. Stinky. Yeah, that's hilarious. I don't
So
watch that show
yeah,
forever.
that's terrible. So
So I'm having some trouble here.
No, you're
getting fine.
Yeah.
It to, you know what it needs to do. There we go. Hang on.
So we had that information, that issue happen there. We had, again, the K2. The bed that I was on was, if you open the double doors into the room, is double doors still the old hospital door. They didn't want to tear anything out. They wanted to save everything. So I mean, it's all original. And so what they did is the bed that I laid on was directly into the room. So laying on the bed, had the K2 going off here and there, had so many issues going on. And I'm like, wow, this is weird. You know, why is the most activity in the room with the K2, the REM pod, happening here? So I went down and talked to Luke. I said, hey, Luke, do you know, well, the next morning, I said, Luke, how was the room, the operating room laid out? He's like, well, he said, well, let me go look at the drawings that I can find, because there's real no pictures of the room.
Uh-huh.
And okay. So I go through there, everything, look around, and he grabs it and brings it back. He said, yeah, well, this is where the operating table was, which is where the bathroom would have been on the far side windows. And I'm like, I don't think so, but okay. Well, that's it. That's cool. Well, they did have a book. They have this book that has all the information that they can find on the hotel throughout the years on newspaper clippings, down at the county museum. I come across a picture of the operating room, and if you just look at that picture right there on the left, that's the doctor. He's putting medicines, refilling the medicine cabinet and everything. He's got 2 windows directly behind him, or to his right on the wall.
Right.
Those are the windows facing the west side. The operating table is there right behind him, in the same position as the bed that I laid on. So,
That's awesome.
yeah. I mean, the feelings that I had through the evening, I mean, it felt like somebody was trying to either straighten the sheets or change the sheets or giving me a bed bath. It was weird. I mean, the feelings that I had. And, and then, of course, the K2 going off in that area. And I would ask direct questions, and I would get direct answers. I would ask yes and no questions, and, of course, you know how we do that. We do, go with green light for yes, red light for no, and it was doing it. So, I mean, I was getting all that information. But it was crazy. I mean, the stuff that we were getting out of that room.
Those are double doors into your room, right?
That is the double
Wow.
doors. And then it's kind of hard to see it, but there is an incline that inclines up into. That's where the gurneys were pushed up into the operating
Oh,
room.
cool. I
So
see
you
what you're
actually
saying.
slept in the operating room.
Yes, for
That's
2
wild.
nights.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
How many people can say that? That's crazy. Not many.
yeah, because I mean the door on the right hand side where you see a little bit of light underneath of it, that is the actual door that you go into. But the other one still works. It's got a deadbolt lock on the top that locks up into the frame.
Gotcha.
And again, if you look at, it's kind of hard to tell in the pictures, but it's a non-air conditioned hotel.
No.
There's no refrigerators. There's no.
So like the Wilson kind of stuff. Wilson has air conditioning. So,
Yes.
but
We're going in the fall.
No.
You said, yeah. Tell me what you said earlier. You said what temperature?
Cripple Creek was 67 degrees
That's
during the day.
insane.
Okay, I
dude.
like that.
I
At
know.
night-
I like the heat.
Huh?
Yeah.
I like the heat.
Yeah, it was 39
Go outside.
degrees.
It did.
Welcome to Kansas.
I
you
did
know?
all weekend. Yeah.
Oh, I hate it.
Sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, it was 39 degrees at night.
So was it cold in
Wow.
Yes, we had the ceiling fan on because the one thing that I dislike about the hotel, the third floor, they allow people to have dogs.
there? Oh.
So we
So does
we,
Wilson. Yeah.
we heard dogs every once in a while. Now the room right above us is room number 18, and they rented the room late the first night. Oh, it was horrible, and we thought there was somebody in there just screwing away or whatever. It was weird. It was noisy, and all night long.
Oh, dogs.
I mean, and it was terrible. And it started at 10 o'clock, went till about 11, then it stopped, and then about 2:30 in the morning to about 4, it continued. Well, it turned out, talking to Luke, he let a family in there, and he didn't realize that they had a St. Bernard.
Oh, geez.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, that's what we was hearing. But
Holy
yeah, it was
crap,
That's
crazy.
awesome.
No, the
So
place looks cool. as
it
hell.
is cool. And then
Awesome.
they got the hallway right outside of our door. I took that picture
Wow.
at our door and then turned it and took the other picture facing the hallway.
Did you have pictures of that?
Yeah, with that one there.
Oh, that's the
That's
picture.
it.
Oh, I thought that was a different floor.
No, that's the same floor straight out of our door.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
There's 3 staircases. Well, I'll wait till it goes up there, but there's 3 staircases there.
What year was it built?
It's
1898.
2020.
Yeah, 2020. 1898.
18.
98. So,
What picture?
Check my phone at you.
Your new one?
No, I'll just throw the
Did
holy
you have
water.
that
I'll
picture?
just throw the holy
Huh?
water.
Did you have
at
another picture of the outside the staircase?
no, the one you got there on the left is the one I was wanting up.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Okay, yeah, it's already up there. Okay.
Sorry, I
so-
was confused. I was like, what? I don't know.
Now, so that there is the staircase or the hallway directly out of our room, and if you look on there, there's a staircase that goes up. It goes up to a landing, and then there's a right at that landing they have a hot air sauna, an infrared sauna.
Oh,
So it's kind of cool. But it used to be the cold room, so it's the cold room
what's the cold room? What is that?
where they stored the bodies.
Oh, okay.
When
Like
they
a
couldn't
morgue
take
kind
them,
of?
yeah, a morgue. They couldn't take them down the hill to the actual.
Did you go in there?
Yes, we actually had
Is
them
it a
light
room
up.
to stay in?
No, it's a infrared sauna.
Okay.
It's all bricked in. It's got one window in it. Yeah, yeah. So we went in there and sat in the sauna for about an hour.
So it's the opposite of cold room.
Yeah, it's hot now. And then they got the staircase that goes up to the 3rd floor. Now, if you look down the hallway, there's an open door. They just like, well, I don't know where hotel we were in. They leave all the doors open until somebody rents it. So
Oh, okay.
you can go in there and look at the rooms, decide if you like them or not.
That's in Oberlin. Oberlin has that place we stayed at, Jason and Renee.
Oh, that's right. Yes, exactly. That's what I was thinking out.
Which is so weird to me. Is the door just wide open?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
But yeah, that room there, the door up there to the left, that used to be the nursery. It's the biggest room on the floor, and that's where the babies were born, and it's the nursery.
Huh.
And it's huge. It's got 2 bathrooms in it. It's kind of strange. And then if you walk down the hallway past that, it's a split, and then it goes into what they claim to be the psych ward, but it's actually, there's 4 rooms down there. There's one room in the back corner where the nursing station or where the nurse slept that night.
Uh huh.
And the staircase that goes down there is where they claim Mr. Stinky is, which goes down, if you want to put the picture of the fireplace room, the next to the stairs.
And who was Mr. Stinky?
Dan was.
They believe he was an actual mental patient.
Jeez.
They have several infamous mental patients there, but they didn't have any names. They haven't documented a name yet. They just call him Mr. Stinky right now.
Gotcha.
So at that staircase, all the way very back there to the back, it goes down and again. It goes down to this room here, which is the parlor. This is where they have several pictures of apparitions, which I'm hoping for him to send me here soon. I hope so.
That's what you were telling me. You said the owner or who's Luke again? Is he the caretaker?
Manager.
Luke is the caretaker.
Okay.
Yeah, he's the caretaker of the building.
Does he have the pictures of this apparition?
No, Brandon showed me off his phone.
Oh,
And
okay.
so I'm hoping he'll send me the pictures. I sent him an email, so hopefully he does. But the picture that I seen, he said, well, let you look at this picture and you tell me what you see.
Did you see it?
So I seen it. Yeah,
What'd you see?
I seen. Well, it's kind of strange because you can see the whole room. You can see the couch right there. You can see the fireplace, and right about where that table is, right there, if you see in your bottom right corner of that picture, is an apparition. There's a man standing there, and you see him kind of standing with his back to you, kind of cockeyed, but you can see his lab coat. You can see the white left arm of his lab coat. You can see the back of his lab coat.
That's what you were telling me. Okay.
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
And then you can see the collar. And then you can kind of silhouette his head, but you can't see his head. And, I mean, it's a, and he asked me, I said, well, he goes, there's two windows right there that you can see in front. This was done like at 3:15 in the morning is the picture that he got off his cameras.
Interesting.
There's no street lights outside there. There's a church right across the street that was built in 1888 or 1889. There could have been a car that drove up the hill and shined a light in there, but you would have seen the lights from the other side of the room as well, not just at the lens. Because right where I'm standing is where you can see on the floor there's some wood right there by the carpet.
Oh, I see.
That's
yeah.
That's a bar top right there, and that's where the camera is, where I'm standing,
Okay.
shooting at that angle. So, it was fascinating. The picture is very fascinating. I hope he sends it to me here soon.
Yeah. Once again, Dan doesn't have. This isn't the actual picture, but Dan's trying to work on getting that picture sent to him.
Yeah,
If once we get that picture, we'll try to get it posted sometime, or we'll talk about it on
Yep.
the next episode.
we will. We
Yeah.
will. Yeah, I mean, Cripple Creek was so welcoming. I mean, they're just coming out of the COVID epidemic as we are. Or actually, we're not even coming out of it. You know what I'm
We're still in
saying?
it.
We're not.
But they were just opening up. I guess we'll go with that. They're
Right.
opening up the town again.
Right. Right.
And there are so many things there that, they were so welcoming. I mean, I hope soon we'll go down there and we can just wipe this town with information.
Did you get a chance to go see Doc Holliday?
No.
Damn it.
Is he in Cripple Creek? Is that where he's
No.
at?
No,
He's
just
just
up
Glenwood
there in
Springs.
Yeah.
What's it called?
Glenwood Springs.
Glenwood Springs. That's right.
He was 4.5 hours away from me when we ended up going
okay,
down to Cripple
okay.
Creek.
I know our friend from Dodge City. Speaking of Dodge City connections, Summer. She went there recently, last year or so. I think it was Summer.
Up there?
Go up there, yeah. She took pictures outside the grave and stuff like that.
Yeah, take him a little bottle of alcohol, a little whiskey.
Is that what they're supposed to do?
Ah.
Oh,
Yeah.
I thought maybe
There's just hundreds of bottles
Yeah.
that they have to end up taking out of his grave because people will drop those in.
that's cool.
Whiskey
It's
or
kind of
$7.
gated, yeah. I've
Yeah.
seen pictures of it. I've never been there. I'm not a fan of Colorado. It's like some of the people in the room, but I just don't like mountains and stuff like that. I'm not a cold,
I'm not a fan of
skiing-
the huge heights and stuff like that, but it is so beautiful. I just love it.
There's a couple areas there that I'm not fond of. Yeah, I don't like driving down, a pass.
Right.
But I like the age. I mean, Cripple Creek is so old.
Right. I know it has some good ghost stuff there.
Yeah. Well, we got some close ones here too, man. I tell you what, I learned a few things. These Sisters of Mercies they're right across us, and it was kind of strange. Where was that at? It was in Colorado. Oh no. Damn it.
Old
lost
age.
it.
Old age, yep.
Old
I was gonna
age.
say.
Well, Old Fellas. Okay, that's the Odd Fellows.
Oddfellows.
Okay, there's the big one up there by Kansas City. I found one in Colorado, an Oddfellows commune. Somebody's telling me about it, and I tied the two together. I'm like, whoa. But yeah, Sisters of Mercy and Oddfellows were all tied together. I didn't know that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff tied in together there. It's kind of strange.
This is a picture off the internet. It's not nothing that we took, but it's Doc Holliday's grave. It's, like I said, gated and stuff like that, which is pretty cool.
It is, and I hear they have to like clean it out every so often
I
because
bet.
people will drop in coins or dollars or
Poker
whiskey.
chips and stuff like that. Yeah,
they
just-
will.
I mean,
It is what it is.
One
I
of
mean,
the best gunmen. I mean, one of the best Old West. I mean, it's near to my heart because I grew up in Dodge City all these years, and White Earp, Doc Holliday, those are my favorite, outlaws and gunmen, whatever.
Billy the
police,
Kid, Jesse James here.
Yeah, I mean, I love the history behind that stuff, and
Yeah.
one of my favorite things, not to get off on a tangent, was Jason and I during one of the ghost hunts down there during the Santa Fe Depot. We caught something telling us it was White, which I know Carl has his nicknames for those guys down there, White being one of them. But in fact, we kept getting a White Earp down there. I mean, White Earp possibly talking to us,
and then it shifted over to
Doc Holliday.
Doc Holliday, and they were actually answering questions appropriate to their lives.
Specific to
And
their
it was-
questions, yeah.
Yeah, that's
it was
cool.
amazing.
And that's all on the Facebook. That's on the
Yeah, we caught that live.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So it's on I think Road Trip Paranormal.
I was filming it with that
Yeah, I
because
was
I had
gonna
the PDA
Yeah.
going and everything like that.
Yep. So that was fun. I mean, and it's all the best part of that. I think is when we're getting the questions and multiple K2s and the REM
Yeah.
pod and everything's going off and it's like confirming stuff and dowsing rods are going off and stuff like that.
It was
Just-
awesome.
And the spirit box too.
Yeah.
We had all that stuff going on one
That's
time.
crazy.
And we're
I
getting-
love the Old West. I would
I do
so dream. My dream is to like take us down to like Lincoln, New Mexico,
Yeah.
and do the whole Billy the Kid.
Trail. Yeah.
I want to be up in that.
the
where-
regulators.
Yeah, I want to go and see the actual jailhouse where he broke out,
Yeah.
and see where the blood is and
On the
everything.
wall because it's still there.
No, the staircase.
No, that's what I'm saying. Blood on the wall was where he broke out. With
Yeah,
he shot,
the blood
he
on the
shot
wall, but on the
deputy.
staircase, because it
Yeah.
contradicts. Because where it is, because where they've recently found the with the black light where the blood is,
Mhm.
contradicts everything that Pat Garrett said
Oh, right. Yeah.
and everything.
Yeah, I don't
There's
know.
I could go into Billy the
Makes
Kid
me
all
want
night
to
long.
watch Young Guns. 'Cause I love that.
Yeah.
I watched Tombstone the other night.
I love Tombstone. I saw it on
got
TV.
excited, yeah.
Tombstone's amazing because it is actually pretty damn accurate.
I like White Earp
It's
better.
very Hollywood.
White Earp's better.
I like
I-
White Earp. I
It's
do.
just long.
But
Yeah.
But I
Well,
that's my dude, though.
I'm a
That's
Val Kilmer fan, so I like.
he did
I love
great
them
Doc
all.
Holliday,
I love
yeah.
them both.
all. They're great, both good
I
shows.
mean, you've got
I mean, the
Yeah.
Tombstone one's more comical and stuff, and
Yeah.
it was fun. I like it, But Tombstone's real gritty and just raw, and I love that. My favorite scene is when he's in the canyon getting shot at, and the bullets were just whipping around.
and it's a true story.
yeah,
true story.
Never got shot in those.
Color of
fights.
Yeah.
life, man. I mean,
He ran right into the river, never got shot.
Yep. So
Just his jacket or his trench coat and everything.
we need to go
But-
up to Jesse James Cave.
Yes,
He's
and
in Kansas.
farmhouse.
Well, the one here in
And
Kansas.
farmhouse. What?
there's one in Kansas too.
Yeah,
Jesse James.
Mhm.
Where at?
Why haven't
Pomona.
you taken me?
Where?
Pomona.
I didn't know that.
Why haven't you taken me?
This is news
I
to
don't
me.
Yeah.
I know.
I think you're talking about the one Jason always talks about, where it's the
Well,
farmhouse in
yeah.
Missouri.
And then there's
Missouri.
Mark Twain Cave. You know,
Yeah, Mark Twain.
he was in there because his initials are all in there.
Yeah,
But yeah, supposedly he was in Kansas and Missouri a lot.
for sure.
For sure, Missouri,
sense,
but
yeah.
Kansas.
Well,
There's
yeah,
even a documentary. I think the last name of the guy who was doing the documentary, Pastoli, was the last name.
Mm-hmm.
He used to actually have a Jesse James Museum in Delano. Did
Here?
you know that? Yeah, Delano.
What happened to it?
Ran out of business.
Yeah, I didn't know.
Basically, but for a brief time, he had a Jesse James.
Yeah, what year was
doc-
that? I read that
It's
somewhere.
a while back. I actually saw a picture of him standing outside with his 6-shooters,
Really?
posing. But then he had a huge documentary that I watched, and I taped it, and I watched it again and again.
Mm-hmm.
But somewhere undisclosed, it kept saying undisclosed area of Kansas, but it looks just like the Flint Hills,
Oh,
where they found an area in rocks and stuff. You know, you go out in the fields and there's those little valleys
Caverns
and stuff, and
yeah.
caverns and stuff. They found the Jesse James symbols.
Oh, that's cool.
They actually found the two J's,
the
you know,
double-back
the
J's,
two J's, you know,
Huh.
they are there. And what they did were, it's supposed to be like a treasure hunt, basically. They were trying to find out whether or not Jesse James was still bearing money
Oh, right.
past his death point.
Yeah.
So they went and they followed it, and wherever the symbols are on the rocks, because they even had his wife's name and his mom's names up there, which is weird as it is. They both had the same name. Yeah, Zerelda. So they walked it, and they were able to use metal detectors and everything. They found like a mason jar in there, dug down deep, had money inside.
Wow.
And it was after, the dates on the money was after his supposed death. Which, you know.
Yeah. I mean, I can see it. I don't believe he shot in the
fantastic. Yeah, well, I've been there. I have the newspaper I have a replica of the newspaper that says, you know, the coroner found the bullet hole still stuck in his, behind the left ear. So there is no through and through shot going into the wall like, you know, history wants you to believe.
Right.
So, anyway, that's my little...
Is that the symbol right there on screen?
Yes.
And you would think, you know, 100 years later, I mean, why not sit there and reveal that it's fake? That it really didn't happen. I mean,
That's far.
there's photographs of, and... Man, I could talk about this all night.
yeah.
It's 8:37. So no, there's I'm just going on a tangent about Jesse James here,
No, you're fine.
but there's so much we should do a whole
No.
Old West show.
Old West show.
We're a paranormal show, sorry.
Damn it! You said anything under the sun.
Yeah,
you know.
It's been
But no,
sunset already.
I could really talk about the conspiracy theories and stuff like that of Jesse James and Billy the Kid,
Oh yeah.
and go into it. There's two of my favorite historical
law person.
historicals.
westerns,
Yeah, I mean Billy. Has enough letters that he wrote out saying, you know, to the governor and everything. Basically, like, I didn't do this. I wasn't there. There's a lot of documentation to it.
Sorry, I'm hearing some shit in the headphones again. Something said, yeah, like agreeing with us, and then I heard something say my name. Sorry. It said Leo. So. No, I'm not. I'm hearing this shit in my head. But yeah, something agree with you. Yeah, it said, yeah.
Like, heck, agree with me, because there's so much to it.
Could be Wyatt.
Could
Could be Bat. Bat's over here talking shit
be
too.
Billy saying, yeah,
Could
I
be
didn't
Billy.
die.
Yeah.
I never tried that.
I went on to Brushy Bill.
Yeah.
That whole thing is remarkable. I love just the backgrounds, the history behind the stories behind that. Just what if? I mean, yes.
Pat Garrett forged 2 death certificates.
Yeah.
Forged them. He wasn't even the one that's supposed to do it. A doctor was.
Yeah, it makes you wonder what really happened. What's the true answer? What's the true
Several
story?
people who were in the posse that, you know, that night that Billy was shot, supposedly.
Right.
First words out of his deputy was, "You just shot the wrong guy."
Right.
I mean,
And Pat Garrett knew who he was.
Oh God,
They
yes.
ran together at one point. I mean, they were acquaintances.
Did you know that one of the members in Pat Garrett's posse was actually a cousin to Billy?
Which one?
I
You
can't remember, but one of the
Really?
guys in the posse was a cousin. And they all did work together with Pete Maxwell and everybody in
Yeah.
that era.
Yep.
They stole horses together. They
right.
did everything together. You know,
Yeah,
it was
Good
a
old
very
Lincoln County War. Yeah, they
it
were.
was a very small circle of friends there.
Right.
You know?
Right.
Well, money buys everybody. I mean, you know. And him and Pat were tight. I mean,
Well,
depends-
still nobody knows how he got free from the jailhouse.
Now, have you watched The
And
Kid yet?
huh?
Have you watched The Kid?
No.
What?
What's the kid?
It's
it came out
a
last
fake
year.
movie.
There's some stuff in there
But Young Guns is real.
There's some stuff in there that's tied into real.
Pretty close.
But it's all fake.
Not all.
You know.
Not
it's not.
all.
We've had those
I know.
conversations. Sorry, we were saying sorry.
Well, I mean,
The Kid.
Stage of
yeah,
events.
yeah. But I mean, Billy's in it. You know,
Yeah, I know.
supposedly, and it's
I
about a kid that
Oh, gotcha.
that he helps escape, and it's weird. But there's some stories that are supposedly written that pulls into it together, and that kind of it's weird.
Well, my whole thing is that when the news, they were making the gallows and everything like that.
Right.
The sheriff, who is Pat Garrett,
Yeah.
is supposed to be in town and stay in town while they've got a high,
Profile.
profile
Criminal.
prisoner up
Yeah.
there, which is Billy the Kid, the one he supposedly caught.
Right.
But no, he decides that he's going to go out of town to go check on something else out of town. Just happens to leave.
Mm-hmm.
And then when Billy goes out to the outhouse, he finds
The gun.
a gun, or
Right.
somehow he steals Belle's gun. They still don't know exactly what happened, but Belle dies. And of course, the famous shootout of, Bob Bollinger. That was me.
Oh, I was gonna say who not.
That was me.
Okay.
So I was trying to read what Andy posted. She said she has a friend that's related to Wild Bill Hickok, and has Wild Bill's chest. At first I thought she meant the chest, like his body. I'm like, what? She means like a chest, like a chest of drawer, or like a.
Right.
She said it has Wild Bill's chest with some belongings in it. Been passed down in the family. Got to see when I helped him move. It was neat. She said.
Wow.
I didn't hear that before. That's cool.
That's cool.
And also Carl mentioned that Knights of the Golden Circle existed well after Jesse James also too.
Oh, well, there's a lot of photographs in that documentary that Pastore made that shows Jesse and Frank and some of the other members, along with some, I guess you can say, co-workers that were working at a business. They each were like Jesse and Frank and the Youngers and all them are like they're all giving certain like symbols in the photograph, like certain things that back in the day of the Knights of the Golden Circle, they was meaning, okay, job well done, we did this, we're accomplished, let's move on to the next one.
Mm-hmm.
And there's all these photographs of that. Each time that they did something, they got a group photo and they're giving symbols, like gang symbols, basically.
Yeah, right. For the time, for the time being.
Back in the time, but they're giving symbols to that. I mean, it's very odd to see that.
Yeah.
That they're moving forward with the plan.
Mm-hmm.
Like the South was going to rise because that's what Jesse and the rest of them were doing, was robbing to collect money and have payments out there. And the crazy thing about the documentary is that it leads to a family that's damn it, it's been a long time since I watched it. I want to say that the family is based here, living here in Kansas somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
And they always said that and the great-great-grandson is talking on he looks identical to Jesse from all those younger photographs of Jesse when he was a young guy and everything. He's like almost a spitting image of him.
So they're trying to. You think
so they actually like did a cross comparison to black
up.
and white, and they do match up.
So is it?
But his great-great-grandfather, I guess, was part of the land and the farm that they had. He was, he had a huge beard. There's some photographs of him. He looks very shady. He has a huge beard. He's just kind of keeps to himself. But anytime the farm needed help or they needed some money or something, he'd always say, "I'll be right back." And he'd get like on his horse. He'd take off for like a few days or a week or so, come back, and he'd have all this money.
Oh, really?
Yes. And he'd be able to help the farm and everything like that. But what was the greatest thing is that, just like the chest, that family has a chest full of just evidence. Heirlooms, thank you, that matches everything from like there's a photograph of Jesse James. I think he's 16 in the photograph. And it shows he has like this little pin that you usually would put flowers in. Everything. He pulls it out, and there's that.
Wow.
Kind of a brooch that his mom, Jesse's mom, wore all the time, and you see it in several pictures. He pulls it out, and he's like, "Look at that! It's an identical match."
Wow.
And several other things out of this chest that belong to them. But the killer was this. There was at the time, back when his great-great-grandfather was alive, they had a kind of reunion of the Confederate soldiers who were still alive.
Right.
They get together, have a little dinner and photograph and all that, and they always sign in.
Okay.
Yeah, that guy in the photograph, he's there. He's kind of hiding off on the side and doesn't want to look, but he signs his real name.
And?
Jesse Woodson James.
Really?
On the Confederate sign-in. He goes Jesse W. James.
That's crazy. What documentary?
I'll have to look it up for you.
Oh, okay.
I'll look it up for
I
you.
wanna see this.
I'll look it up for you and then see if I can find it for you, and you can watch it. I want to watch it again.
Hell
So
yeah.
I think I've seen that.
It was a few years ago.
It sounds vaguely familiar.
very-
That's why I wondered if it's one I've seen. But.
Yeah, it was many years ago.
Huh.
when I
That's
saw
crazy.
it.
Yeah.
Not many, but it was like within the last 5-6 years.
Yeah. So what got you into Jesse James of all things? I'm just curious. I know you because
Okay,
your
well-
family was up in that area. If it's from that area.
Well, it's always been that one thing because for all my life, as we're going up to Missouri,
Sure.
we always pass by Kearney,
Yeah.
and supposedly that is where his body is,
Oh.
and
okay.
that's it, the family farm.
Yep.
And we'd always drive past it. I'm like, it's Jesse James, But I didn't really get into it as much as I did Billy the Kid and the life of that. I read the original book that Pat Garrett wrote.
Yeah, his own book. Uh-huh.
And
read
again,
I've never read it. I want to, but I never have.
I checked it out from the Hayesville Library. They had a copy of it. It was really old. It was awesome.
That's cool.
And I read it, but you only hear from Pat Garrett's view.
Right.
But some of the things that he talked about is almost like he was gloating on how awesome Billy was.
Yeah.
Like able to the famous part in the movie when the house is on fire and they're escaping. That actually did happen. Now it didn't happen with him being in a chest or anything. He ran out.
Yeah.
Same with the rest of the gang. But he runs out, and it's documented that there's these two guys that try to hold him up and everything, and they said that the people around only heard one shot, and yet they both dropped. He was just that quick. He was just boom. He got them both.
Wow.
And it's because he was trying to grab his hat too, because his hat was blown off. He never got shot. He never got hit as he was running away from the place. But Garrett's telling all this story. I'm like, but you weren't there during that time,
Right.
Garrett. You weren't in, Lincoln when this whole battle was happening. You weren't there, so how the frick do you know? So anyway, it just bloomed to the point where I was studying every single person, in Young Guns 2, Doc doesn't really die that way.
It's Charlie.
Yeah, it's Charlie.
Who dies in the first one, technically.
He dies in the first one. Why they did that freaking pissed me out.
I never understood that. Yeah,
it was director and time and schedule.
Well, I mean, Chavez never died. He lives to an old age. Yeah.
Old age.
So
he even helped out with some
does Doc.
police stuff. Yeah.
Doc, he lives for a long time, too.
Well, Charlie and Doc actually had their own cheese factory at one point.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they actually had their own cheese factory.
That's funny.
They worked together and stuff before they ever became members of the gang and all that stuff. I mean, just weird stories and stuff that is fantastic. But then it just shifted after my parents actually took me. I fell asleep. We were heading off to see family and everything, and I woke up to the gravel road, and I'm thinking, okay, I'm at my grandparents' now. But nope, we weren't there. We were driving up to the Jesse James farmhouse.
That's cool.
Got to go in, and the fact that the farmhouse is still original.
Right.
Everything in there.
Bed and all, yeah.
Yeah, everything in there is still original from the day. Now, they've done some outside work and everything, of course, but yeah, the blast at the Pinkertons, threw a bomb in that they claim never was a bomb, but it blew up in their fireplace and took the mom's arm off, killed their little brother.
Yeah.
The blast marks are still there. You can still see it today.
That's right.
Wow.
It's amazing. And people used to hide out, and hunters used to use the house. Excuse me. Nobody knew. I guess they knew it was the James family, but nobody ever did anything. The only thing that's ever stolen from there was the legs off the icebox that Frank and his wife added on. They added on to the house.
Oh, okay.
And everything.
Huh. That's interesting.
It's amazing.
I was just curious. I don't think I've ever really asked you that, but I mean, I figured it was mostly because your family's from that area.
It's the fact that history doesn't talk about like the actual human aspects of why they were doing what they were doing.
Yeah.
I like seeing them for who they actually are, and not
People?
just
Yeah.
Not animals.
Yeah. Because you have the one side, the notorious side of things. But no, and that's like I said. That's why I've always been fascinated by. Well, like I said, grew up in Dodge City with White Earp. And
I would be too.
I mean, we live in Wichita of all places, and I mean, there's connection here, but they don't glorify it as much as Dodge City. I mean, Dodge City has the main strip is White Earp Boulevard. I mean,
Wichita doesn't do shit for actually
history
and
well, they
taking.
keep changing it. I mean, they keep tearing buildings down, and I'm like, why? Don't do that.
Yeah, they want new and retro because everybody says Wichita sucks to visit. And it's like any other big city.
Yeah, it just sucks because I mean, these are buildings that are.
Delano's really all we have left.
And that's going away
minus a few other buildings in town. But
well, I mean, the Cowtown has some buildings that were moved there, but it doesn't.
Right.
Not the original locations and.
Not real locations, and there's so many false stories to everything.
Well, I mean, one of the big places in Wichita is like Interest Bank, or the actual bank is the original bank, still in the same shape and everything.
Right.
But they built on top of it, around it. I mean, if you go inside the bank itself, they have the original gun turrets, or not turrets, but the gun shacks up there on top, the guard shacks. And there's bullet holes in there still, too, from when they've shot in there.
That's awesome.
Yeah, because I used to work for Interest. And
yeah.
My wife still does, but, you know.
What I love is that the Broadview is still there.
That's one of them, yeah.
Broadview is like an image from the past, basically.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, there's still some places around, but it's just altered a little bit. The Occidental places.
But nobody talks about it. Nobody dives into it. And
not
that's
like we
what
do.
I love.
Not like we do. And that's kind of what got me interested in ghost hunting is the whole historical aspect of it. Like I said, I mentioned it before. You know, if we're talking to we get to go to some places that nobody else gets to see, like the Orpheum. Who knew the hell that those tunnels were down there? Or no, not the tunnels, but the what do you call it? We talked about last week.
You're almost on it.
No, I was thinking. Well, I'm thinking of the whole staircase. That's the thing that sticks out to me. They had parties and stuff down there. What the hell is it called? Speakeasy. Damn it! I was like, what the hell is that word? It's
almost there.
It's a long way to get there for one little word, but just the fact that we had to see that.
I'll never forget that. That was so cool to see them. You know, open the door and it's like right there.
It's like history was opened, and it's like whoa! I can picture the piano playing, the girls, the girls of the night.
And see, the thing is. What we're doing, it's not necessarily, it's paranormal. It's got to be spooky and crazy.
Right.
No, we're capturing the past.
Yep.
And that's the most awesome thing.
Yeah, the fact that we can talk to if we're capturing ghosts, we're talking to somebody who's actually passed.
Exactly, they're past.
Who's dead, whether it was yesterday, whether it was 300 years ago. I mean, who knows?
But I just love the whole idea of talking to the past. Not talking to them because, they're demons.
That's cool too, though.
They're passing through a portal.
Yeah.
But no.
It's still cool the fact of building themselves. I mean, especially like when you see them, I catch myself looking around with my mouth open, a gaze, a gap, whatever, just looking at all these buildings like, oh my god, this is cool. We're in a place where, who the hell knows stood on this place, we do know who stood there,
Right.
It's just amazing to me. But then we start getting some evidence. The White Earp, the Doc Holliday, possibly talking to us. It's like, holy shit, this is freaking
the Doc
amazing.
The Doc moment was fantastic because you were asking questions that only that person would know.
Sure.
Supposedly.
Now, was it really truly him? Who the hell knows?
Don't know.
But
it was.
Could have been. Who knows?
It was spot on with historical moments and stuff and information.
I still would have liked a little bit more concrete evidence because I was asking specifics to White Earp and his wives. Tell me your wives' names.
Oh, and got mad too.
Oh yeah, he didn't like that question.
Yeah, he didn't like that at all.
No.
Yeah, and it was just some of the stuff was just like, God, you should know this. Give me a definite sign, other than coming out behind the curtain and say, hey, it's me, White Earp. Give me a definite sign. That was the
same night though in the theater that you saw the glowing face on the stage.
I thought it was you.
That you thought was me, and I was just like way far away.
I'm like, Jason, what are you doing up there? Because to get to the stage, you have to either jump up there, which I know it's taller than. I mean, nothing against you, but even for me, we have to hop up there to get up there.
I'm short.
The staircase is in the back side,
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden you come walking right here. What did you need? I'm like, holy shit, dude, where the fuck did you come from? And you're right there. And
Wow.
the guests
Yeah.
said the same thing.
They saw it too,
They swore
didn't
it
they?
was you up there.
Yeah. No.
And we saw the shadow figure walking.
I
up there.
was not on stage.
And it was like, really? Oh my god, you're right here. Because I could have sworn that was you 100%.
And you were talking to Wyatt and Doc all night long.
Yeah, that was fun. That was a good time. I need to get back out there again too, because it's been a while since I've been in the depot.
You think?
I can't even remember the last time I've been there, honestly.
It's been about a year and a half.
Has it?
Has
Wow.
it? I think so.
Yeah.
About a year and a half.
Because was that the Dot City Days one, or is that? No, I went in December one time when we
You,
did the
you
2 or
went,
3.
yeah.
Yeah, I went one time in between.
2018, you came out for the 3 nights that we did.
At the
Yeah.
Dodge City
Days.
Days.
But then you also we did one in December the following.
And then we
year.
did,
And
yeah.
I hit. There was 3 of them we did, like 2 in December and 1 in I think February. I hit the middle one, I think, if
Yeah.
I'm right, just because of how things lined up.
I know.
So,
It'd be nice for you to go back. I mean,
it'd be fun to go back. We talked about off camera with Carl and stuff. Just go back as a group versus the
Yeah.
public, just to go back and get to our roots a little bit. And
well,
see.
him and Chris are already doing
Yeah, I know.
that. But for all of us, it'd be nice to
Yeah.
go in there with nobody else, just the
Yeah.
team, and just
Just have at it. And we'll
Yeah.
go back one of these days, yeah, and whatever we capture, we'll bring to the public here, because that place is it's incredible. Like I
Yeah.
said, it's fun, and we'll hopefully get back once Corona's all said and done, if it ever is, to get doing some public investigations down there.
we
Hopefully,
can figure out how just to survive with it.
At least
'Cause it's not
controllable,
going to go
yes.
away.
Yeah.
Yeah, controllable.
Yep. Well, guys, we're getting close to the end of the show. It's about 4 minutes in, unless you're talking to Jason and he's talking about midnight again, like always. He wants to go to midnight.
No, not tonight.
Not tonight?
Not
No.
tonight.
All
We
right.
finally broke him. I'm just kidding. No, but coming up, like I said, at the end of the month, August 1st, we'll be doing the 100th
Celebration.
episode celebration. Yep. Where we're going to do some fun things. And it's going to be a Saturday this time instead of a Sunday.
Yep. And we're not going to be in studio. We're going to be live on location somewhere.
Yep. And we're going to do some crazy stuff, so I can't wait for that. We'll be back hopefully next week. I don't know what the schedule looks like here. We should be here 2 more times back in the studio, hopefully, with some 1, 2 no guests or no individuals that are part of the team. Hopefully, who knows? I never know who's going to show up time to time.
We'll
It's
see,
it's
yeah.
a weekly thing, so. But we'll be back on Sundays like always. Hopefully, if everything works out, that's the plan, anyways. And yeah, if you have any comments, let us know what you want us to talk about. We'll talk about pretty much anything, and then we can talk about till we're blue in the face about our past experiences and stuff like that. And I love telling them stories because those are some fun cases we've done over the years. And I was going to try to hit Dan up like we did last week about. Well, we'll do it real quick. We got 3 minutes, Dan.
Yeah.
You're newer to the team, but you've been with us how many years now? 3 or 4 at this point?
3,
2
2
or 3
and a half.
years, something like that.
Two
Well,
and a
you did it.
2.5.
The Eldridge was one of the first times I met you.
Eldridge,
so,
yes.
Yeah. Just kind of, what's been one of your favorite cases we've done over the years so far? The years you've been with the team, just kind of, or something that stuck out to you memorable.
Well, we just talked about it a while ago down there at Decatur Last Enumerated Museum. I forgot about how much stuff actually happened that night. And then the next day going to,
The VFW.
The VFW.
That was fun too.
yeah, there's 3 of us seen a full body apparition
Yeah.
that night in that location. Myself, Jake, and my wife. That was crazy. I mean, he was right there,
Yeah.
directly between me and Jake, and then he disappeared. That was crazy. Memorable. That would be it. I mean, as far as the amount of evidence. I don't know, man. I tell you what, I haven't had a bad location yet.
Sure.
But that one's the most memorable. I mean, of course, I enjoy Wilson because of the location and the historical significance of the building.
Yeah.
And the area.
Oh yeah.
It's just crazy. And the town's got a feel about it that's just out of this world.
Yeah, it's
So,
a fun place to visit or to investigate, especially. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's been some times since we've been back there too. I mean, I can't remember last time we were there. You went there for the first annual Meta Para. Anyways, you guys both got to go there, which come back full circle.
Full circle. We'll get that thing around.
No, but that's the last time you guys have been there. I haven't been there since I don't remember. I couldn't even tell you a date or time or why I was there. But it was. I know what it was. So when we had we stayed at the schoolhouse. I think it was you,
Yeah.
you, Roth, and I. Stuff.
I was there.
And you were there, but you stayed in the
Stayed at the
hotel.
hotel,
Yeah,
yeah.
you and
Yeah,
Jake.
we stayed at the
the schoolhouse. That was
schoolhouse,
remodeled,
which was
that was
cool.
fun. It was
It was
neat.
good.
Yeah, so that was a good time too, because of some of the activity we had going on there. But yeah, so well, it is 9 o'clock on the dot, y'all. So we're gonna go ahead and wrap up for this evening. But
Alrighty.
we'll work on some stuff for next week too. Maybe some Jesse James, maybe something else. Who knows? We never know what we're gonna talk about.
I can give you all kinds of photographs. Okay.
No, but anyways, we'll figure something out fun to talk about. And like I said, if you have any suggestions, let us know on here. Comment below, and just let us know what you want to hear. We'll talk about pretty much everything and anything. I'll try to bring back the videos like we did last couple weeks, where just some random
That's
paranormal or
fine.
whatever.
Yeah.
Because once we get more people back on the team, I want their intake or their take on it too. Just kind of some things of what they see and what they think about it. Because we do our own little fact or fake segment here and on the show, so we'll bring that back. Because I found some cool ones again too. I wanted to bring, but
Good.
we'll get up next week. So, but otherwise, lastly, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe. Make sure you tell a friend, tell a mistress, tell a mister, tell whoever you want to. Tell somebody, stranger, but do it with the mask, like I say every time. Nah, but seriously, in all seriousness, take care of yourselves. Make sure you guys are staying healthy and whatnot. And we'll be back next week for another episode. So, but
Hey, there is another avenue too. I did it tonight. So if any of you guys want to sit there and create a watch party on your own page,
Yeah.
we'll get a lot more people that way. A lot more people can view it and see who we are.
Yeah, I saw that you
So,
had it going on.
yeah.
That's fun too. Yeah, you do that on Facebook. You can click watch party on there, and you can get other people, some of the other people that don't know about us or know that you like the paranormal stuff. They can see what you're watching, and maybe they'll chime in with some stories or
Exactly.
whatever. So yeah. So definitely, yeah. Like I would do that, but I'm running the show, so I can't really do that. So, but right on, guys. Well, for
Right.
the Cryptic Heartland podcast, I'm one of the hosts. I'm Leo. That's Jason. That's Dan the Man. He's
Yeah.
back.
I'm back.
Hopefully we'll get Roth on here again sometime, and Jake and everybody else. So,
Yeah.
but until then, thank you for tuning in this evening, and we'll see you guys next week.
Peace, guys.
Bye.
Bye.